right, it's Cameron Parish Police Jury's agenda meeting, morning session, Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, Mr. Bradley.
As customary, every year we come before y'all and give y'all an annual report of our efforts. We have those provided for y'all. To look at it, we have one for 4-H and also one for A&R, which is Ag and Natural Resources, and also Sea Grant with Jordan. Here with me is Jordan, our Sea Grant agent, and Miss Michelle, our 4-H agent. So if y'all have any questions afterwards, or we know y'all have a lot to get through today, so we're just gonna be very short. One thing I am trying to keep an eye on as a A&R agent is New World Screwworm. I mean, I'm sure y'all be hearing about it in the news, moving up further north into Mexico. With that being said, we're one tropical storm away, hugging the Mexican coast and then bringing a fly into the United States. So that is one thing I'm sure you'll see in the news. There is a sterile fly plant trying to be built. There was one human case in Maryland. When that hit the news, cattle market dropped 40 cents. So you can about imagine the kind of effect it will have on the economy, not just in Louisiana and Cameron Parish, the amount of people that sell cattle, but also around the country. So that is one thing very much keep in mind. With that, I'm gonna turn over to Mr. Jordan, who's got providing you updates.
So here lately, I've been working with 4-H a good bit. Marsh Maneuvers out at Rockefeller, collaborating with them and getting kids out, showing them the parish, the natural resources we have. A lot of kids don't get to come down and experience. That's been a good way to get them out there, introduce them to what we've got. Marsh Ministries was something we did just with Cameron 4-H. It's kind of a step down from Marsh Maneuvers, which is the whole state, but it gives Cameron and Calcasieu Parish kids the chance to come do that. It's kind of selective for the state thing, so it was a good way to get them down there and have a chance to experience it without having to compete with all the other parishes that go. You got anything to add on that? I'll turn it over to you.
Actually, on the Marsh Ministries, it was a grant that I had applied for, so that's what helped the cost of us getting there and being able to, bring the kids and experience all that. No, but 4-H right now, we have about 80 kids enrolled already. I actually haven't even been to the schools yet. I'll start tomorrow, encouraging the kids to enroll. So I feel like we're already on a good way of already meeting our goal. Last year we had about 220 total, which I feel like was really good. We were about 25% above our normal enrollment as of last year's enrollment. But I did do an impact statement that you guys have. It's a pamphlet, shows pretty much what we've done throughout the past year. So if you read that and you have any questions, y'all can give me a call.
Okay. Michelle.
You're welcome.
I do have a question for Bradley, if you don't mind. You talked about the issue with the screwworm. Is there anything that the federal government or state government is doing to ensure that that's not coming any faster?
So I know that Kennedy and then Secretary of Agriculture, help me out here, her name. Anyway, they are looking at emergency use labels for some of these insecticides that are good against it, but not labeled for cattle, if that makes sense. So they are trying to do something in case we do have an outbreak. There are some measures trying to be taken.
the preventative measures, so.
And then does cattlemen have anything they can do currently? Is there any kind of injections or?
No, ivermectin's about the only thing that works, that's labeled for it. Normal D-Lice protocols, that you'd spray for flies, those are just effective just for the adult flies. So as far as the larvae, the problem is the larvae. Because once the larvae get in, there's really no effect for them, except the ivermectin, so.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. All right, coastal master plan.
Morning, everyone. My name is Renee Escaray. I'm with Scattered Acres Ranch and my colleagues with Stream Wetland Services. And Benjamin Richard with Tetra Tech is going to present, and we appreciate the opportunity to present our draft plan for your coastal master plan.
How y'all doing?
Good.
So we held public meetings in March and April for the coastal master plan. We had 5 public meetings in Johnson, Bayou, Hackberry, Klondike, Cameron, and Grand Lake. We received a lot of projects. I think we had 235 total projects proposed. We have the draft plan complete for public review. Our projects and the goals and objectives of this project, as you can see up there, development strategies to implement those projects to restore and enhance ecosystems, provide a guide for future planning, develop prioritization for the projects, identify all available funding sources. Through identifying all the funding sources, we identified 24 funding sources for coastal projects in the parish. The objective, reduce flood-related damage, natural processes for resilience and sustainability, primarily to restore and protect coastal habitats, sustain the cultural heritage and infrastructure of the parish, and promote a viable working coast. The plan for implementation, like I said, we got a lot of those projects from the public meetings as well as other input from stakeholders that people submitted. We're going to continue the stakeholder engagement. This is a living document, so we're going to add projects as necessary. We have identified a lot of funding sources. We're trying to streamline that process in order, when you have some money, to have that project available that can be funded by federal and state funds. Then we'll evaluate the projects and work with the Coastal Working Group in order to prioritize those projects. Like I said, we had stakeholder engagement. We identified a lot of challenges and constraints, identified all the regulatory agencies that would be involved in all of the coastal projects, the funding sources. We created a GIS database. So of the 235 projects, at the end of this plan, when this plan becomes final, you'll be able to go to the Police Jury website and have an interactive project map where you can go and click on the project, see what the project name is, the acres it's benefiting, the length of shoreline protection, the area of marsh creation. There's also a lot of hydrologic restoration projects where cleaning out canals, cleaning out ditches, water control structures, that sort of thing. You can go to the next one. So during the process, we identified 52 marsh creation projects, 116 restoration projects, 35 shoreline bank stabilization, and 32 hurricane and flood protection projects for a total of 235 projects. The ridge restoration projects we're going to put alignments down all the ridges. That way if something becomes available and somebody would like to do some ridge restoration, whether it's planting trees, filling in reclamation of sand mines, or any of that sort, it would be available. And the other primary goal of this is to get this plan into the state's master plan. And if it gets into the state's master plan, it's available for, it becomes easier for availability for federal and state funding. This plan is going to be available on the Police Jury's website for the next, I think, 30 days. It's kind of hard to see at this level, but the plan has maps zoomed in a little bit. You go to the next one. So we have hydrologic restoration, that's where all the shoreline protection, marsh creation, and flood protection projects. Flood protection projects are primarily levees, berms, roads. The marsh creation projects were identified mostly the open water. The shoreline protection projects are up the Ship Channel, a lot around Grand Lake, Lake Misere, Intercoastal Canal, Calcasieu Lake, and then along the entire coast and Calcasieu Lake and Sabine Lake. You can go to the next one. These were the projects identified in the northeastern portion of the parish. A lot of levee cleanouts around Klondike, shoreline protection around Grand Lake. At the green line, there's some flood protection on the north side of Little Chenier. The little triangles there are hydrologic restoration. And all this is going to be in the plan, and it's all available. It's 100 pages or so. It'll all be available on the website for review. That's the central port. It's all those yellow portions there are marsh creation projects. There's a lot of hydrologic restoration around Grand Chenier, south of Muddy Lake. The shoreline protection and the levee system north of Cameron. And another flood protection project in Johnson Bayou with some hydrologic restoration. So like I said, there's 235 projects total. Have any questions?
No, sir. Thank you. All right, Mr. Coy, Mitch.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Mr. Coy.
My name's Coy Benson. I'm with the CPA firm Braxton Cassidy and Guillory. We did the audit for the police jury for the year ending December 31st of 2024. I put some books in front of these blue books. I'm not going to go over in detail anything. I'll be real quick here. We did the audit report. We also have a couple other letters in there that we had to prepare for you guys to present. The most important pages of the audit report, page 15 was the balance sheet. Page 17 is revenues and expenditures. So if you want to, we're not going to go in detail, but just later on, if you want to look at those pages, that tells the truth. One financial note as far as unrestricted fund balance. The police jury is sitting at 147% of annual operating expenses. As a rule of thumb, a strong financial position is 50%. You guys are at 147%, so you're sitting really strong financially. We've presented the report, presented to the legislative body, it's all been filed. And certainly, we're available. Any questions later on, give me a call, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to sit and talk with any of you guys and answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Mr. Coy. Appreciate it. All right, Mr. Butler.
Good morning, gentlemen. Butler Bourgeois with Arthur J. Gallagher. Here discussing the insurance renewal for the parish as well as the fire department. You have two documents in front of you. One is a sort of a one-page, and then like a staple page that's landscape. I'd like to go over the first document, and that's just the insurance renewal for the parish. The parish has been with Travelers Insurance Company for probably the past 5 or 6 years, maybe longer than that. On workers' compensation, you've been with Midwest Casualty on a self-insured program. And then for equipment that you have in your operation, that has been with IAT Insurance, a group that left Travelers and started their own program. The Travelers program is up on general liability. It's essentially, we've had some flat rates with Travelers, but we've had some increased expenditures in our budget. So that did increase the general liability. We also had payroll increase on workers' compensation. The workers' compensation payroll went up about 6%. And then on equipment, we added some equipment, deleted some equipment, and that overall value went up about 3%. So overall with Travelers, for your general liability, automobile, errors and omissions of the board coverage, excess workers' compensation, and your equipment went up overall about 12%, which is standard in the industry from what we have seen, but a lot of it is due to increase in exposure. The more expenditures this year over last year. So I would say rate might account for about 2-3% of it or so. So overall, very good. Travelers has remained consistent. Midwest has remained consistent. So essentially coverages are overall about the same. Any questions on the parish itself?
One question I got, I see two spots on this page, one for the Hollow Beach Fire Department and one for Ranch, and they're in a coastal barrier. They show no premium. What is the reason for that?
Okay, I will move to that. That's gonna be the fire department, my next
Okay.
document. So on the parish fire department program, we have been insured with VFIS, which is the Volunteer Fire Insurance Services program out of New York. They've been on the program for probably the past, 10, 15 years. They did pay our Hurricane Laura claim for the buildings that the fire department owns, and paid roughly, this is the document I'm reviewing, paid roughly about $8 million for Hurricane Laura. As a result, from a property standpoint, they did increase our rates last year and are increasing our rates again this year. Last year, when we looked at their rate increase, we tried to create an alternative program for property by going out and buying property insurance, flood insurance, and equipment insurance to match or come close to what the VFIS program provided. It did not make sense last year, but this year, because of the substantial increase by VFIS, it does make sense this year. So if you look at this page, and I'll answer your question in a minute. If you look at this front page, we have 4 columns. The second column is what you're expending now for coverage for the fire department. You can see that property carries a 5% windstorm deductible, which is pretty normal for coastal parishes. And the overall subtotal of bottom line premium was right at about $573,000. In the third column, you'll see that the same program, VFIS program, has now increased their windstorm deductible, or their deductible, to 10%, and they are asking to increase their property premium to $796,000, or almost $873,000 as compared to the $573,000. So pretty substantial increase. In the fourth column, we call that option 2. If you notice at the top, we are looking at insuring our property with a combination of Westfield, Axis, and Evanston Insurance Company, and then buying flood through the National Flood Insurance Program, which has a few limitations, and then providing equipment breakdown with separate policies. By doing that, we're able to keep our pricing level about the same as last year. Okay, a few caveats are that VFIS is willing to cover everything but flood going forward, if that's what we choose to do. By moving away from VFIS, we have to engage the National Flood Insurance Program, and purchase coverage that way. It takes 30 days to make that coverage effective. VFIS has offered, being conservative, that we could renew the property at a higher rate, and when the flood is effective, allow us to delete property coverage on their program. At that point, we would bind coverage with that separate property carrier and NFIP. So the other option is we could go bare on flood in September, which we probably don't want to do, I wouldn't recommend. Our coverage renews on September 15th. Our flood program, we would come into play about September 29th. So we would be about 14 days without any flood coverage. With VFIS offering to extend coverage, I think that's something that we should consider doing. I would recommend it. What I am waiting to hear back from VFIS on is whether they will cancel pro rata or short rate. I'm pretty sure they'll cancel pro rata, which just basically means we're only going to charge you for the days that you use rather than giving you a penalty. In my program, I considered that we would short rate it just to be conservative, which would cost us about $114,000 for those 18 days. If it's pro rata, it'd only be about $40,000 to extend coverage for flood during those 18 days. And so even the worst case scenario, we would pay no more than we were paying last year. Coverage is not quite as broad as VFIS, but we're providing replacement cost coverage on the buildings. There's some actual cash value on older roofs that other than 15 years old, but to save $300,000 a year in premium, that's substantial. So now back to page 2 of this document shows you the flood policies that we have quoted on each of the fire department locations. We have 2 locations, one in Holly Beach that is inside the coastal barrier, and the Grand Chenier location highlighted in orange, that is also in a coastal barrier protection. And the National Flood Program will not insure them for flood because of where they're located. We have gone to outside sources to try to secure an independent flood policy, but right now the federal government will not insure those buildings.
Have they insured them in the past?
No, they have been insured through the Volunteer Fire Insurance Services program. So we have not had to go to the National Flood Program for coverage. So this would be the first time that we're approaching National Flood to provide coverage on on all of our locations. Okay. The limiting factors are the program can insure your building up to $500,000 and your contents up to $500,000. So this list shows what we are covering. All of your contents can be covered for each of your locations. We only have about 3 locations with contents, but your buildings are limited to $500,000, which the fact that you have most of your buildings elevated, or you've built sort of what is a basic building that we need to house our vehicles, our units in. And so with the replacement buildings that you've had, the value's not that great. We're only talking about $180,000 on most of those that you have replaced. So you're going back with more of a bare bones building that, should it flood, it's either going to get washed away and you'll replace it, or you'll pressure wash it down and you're back in business. So one of the two, that's the aspect. So at this point in time, we have already started the process to bind flood insurance on all of the properties as we have listed here. But those two locations, we're waiting on an alternate quotation for. We may not receive one. And so that's sort of where we are right now.
Are they insured at the moment?
They are insured at the moment with the VFIS program. I did inquire as to whether the program could continue just those two locations, and they cannot. They've said we either need to insure all the property or none. The location at Holly Beach in Cameron sustained about $400,000 in damage. Some of that may have been wind during Hurricane Laura. The other location sustained, how much? Oh, I'm sorry. The other location is the Grand Chenier, 5520 Grand Chenier, sustained.
It's a new building.
It's a new building. Okay, no damage.
It's just a metal building.
Okay. Right. And some of your larger buildings that did sustain damage, you did not replace. You replaced with something smaller. So the most of the locations that sustained damage, your flood covers that we're looking at now would take care of the majority of it. The only location where we saw a higher amount of damage was in Gadon, the Klondike location. And that one looks like it sustained about $3 million worth of damage. I don't know if that's been finalized yet or not, but that's what the loss run said. But there's been no change to that location. You've not done anything to it. Yeah. It's still the same building, the same blue and white building on the corner. So that kind of threw me for a loop. I was just looking at the loss runs that VFIS gave me. So, yeah, you'd like to have the money. I think splitting the property is a good move for the fire department because you're saving premium and potentially maybe pay less than last year. But there are some limitations, because of the flood, because of the roof, not quite as broad as VFIS, but I think it makes sense for to continue providing the services that we want to provide as a police jury. Any questions?
Good, hey?
Go back and explain about the Klondike
Oh, so
figures.
So we received a loss run from the VFIS program, and according to their loss run, the location in Gadon sustained about $3 million in losses.
Ain't no way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they may have had that incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was part of litigation, hurricane litigation, and so we'll follow up with that with our
Yeah,
lawyers.
that could have been just associated with that, that does make sense.
Any more questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Butler.
Mr. President, I wanna, we're good. I wanna just, publicly extend our police jury appreciation to the Scattered Acres Ranch, Stream Wetland Services, and Tetra Tech. We didn't have any questions for them because they briefed us real well on what was happening with this comprehensive plan for coastal restoration and protection. But I want to call the public's attention to go to the website and police jury website, as it'll be on there, and look at the projects they're doing, and they've done so many projects already. Coastal restoration protection is very important to Cameron Parish, as we all know. These groups have done a tremendous amount of work, not only in the past, but in the future, of providing these plans that we're going to be going over and trying to move forward on. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any more questions, comments? Yes. All right, Mr. Scott Laverne.
Morning, gentlemen.
Scott, thank you.
Y'all requested some more information from my office, and so we'll start back again with the ambulance district. If we go to, and when the taxes are combined in 2024 from the ambulance districts together, the taxes are approximately $6.4 million. It would take a millage rate of 12.25 to collect $6.4 million in 2024. The projected future comparisons to collect the same amount of taxes for the year 2027, it would take a millage rate of 5.7 mils. And in 2029, to collect that same $6.4 million, it would take a millage rate of 4.25. Okay? So then you've asked for a couple other districts, the fire districts. When you combine all of them for the year 2024, they collected a total of $3.9 million. It would take a millage rate in 2024 of 7.5 mils to collect that $3.9 million. So then, if you look at the projected for 2027, it would take 3.5 mils to collect that $3.9 million. And in 2029, it would collect a millage rate of 2.6 to collect that same $3.9 million. And the last one you asked about was the gravity drainage districts. They collected approximately $2.5 million in 2024. And if you add them, if you put all of them together, that would take a millage rate of 5.75 to collect $2.5 million. The projected future comparison to collect the same amount of taxes for 2027, it would take a millage rate of 2.25 to collect that same $2.5 million. And in 2029, it would take a millage rate of 1.75 to collect that $2.5 million. Any questions?
And Mr. Scott, it was 24, of course, last year. And, so it would be up some this year.
Sir?
It would actually be a little more collected this year, correct? 25, 26.
I'm not sure yet because the books have just closed. Everything's not finalized. We come to y'all here sometimes. Huh? I think, yeah, next week or so we're having a special meeting so we can get our tax roll. Then I'll have more information for you on that.
It works.
To put it in layman's terms, we've got to remember that as the millage goes down, as the property value goes up and the millage goes down, it doesn't take as much to collect, it doesn't take as much millage to collect the same amount of money. So your millage, when your millage goes down, your taxes also go down. And we was talking, we were using the ambulance district for an example. I started getting calls about we're fixing to combine the ambulance districts. We're just using the ambulance districts, the fire districts, the drainage districts for numbers. We have a proposal that's going to be coming in, a professional proposal, and we're going to be using that for numbers comparison to see if the jury in fact does want to move forward with that. If they do want to move forward with that, then it's still going to come to a vote for the people. So the jury's not going to do anything with the taxes unless the people votes for it or against it. But we have to look at something before we move forward with it. And that's why the tax assessor is here giving us some examples of the millages, of how we're blessed that those millages and those property values are going up because it's gonna help us in the whole. If we as residents had to bear all the tax burden, I can tell you, we couldn't do it without industry. It wouldn't happen.
And none of this could, I mean, you're talking about a long process, so, I mean, it would be 27 at best before this could even happen.
I think the tax, ambulance District 1 is collecting 34, 39 million somewhere. Village, what are they?
Lower Cameron.
Lower Cameron.
Lower Cameron is a 31.09 mills. That's their millage rate.
And ambulance District 2 is at like 8?
9.5.
9.5, okay, that gives you an example of how much variance and fluctuation we have in our districts, fire districts, drainage districts, and different things. And now the values, the property values, there's a lot of fluctuation in that.
Yes. Any questions, guys?
Yeah, Mr. Scott, I mean, it looks good to drop the military rate for the people. My issue is if we're gonna continue to talk about this, let's get into the weeds. You're talking about dropping the millage to have the same amount of money. Well, I don't agree with that because we need more money because all our stuff's starving. So that millage is gonna have to stay high until we get all our stuff, new trucks, I mean, just say the gravity drain that you had on there. They gotta take grants out because they can't pay for nothing. So, I mean, we need to look at it, we need to discuss it. Let's
Yes,
get with each of these entities and see what their needs are and how much more money they're needing. Because once the money goes up, I don't think we need to drop the millage right off the bat because we got a lot of catching up to do in a lot of the areas, unfortunately.
And I see your point.
Yep.
And we also have an obligation, we adjust these millage rates yearly. So we also have an obligation to max it out. How often?
Every 4 years.
Every 4
with,
years.
Before reassessment, you have to go back up to your max millage. Now, like ambulance District 2, that's the biggest part of the parish. Their max millage is 14, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They just don't need it. They're comfortable with 9.5. That takes care of their needs.
Yeah, they're already, Rhonda told me the other day, they've already rolled it back twice and looking at a third time, I think.
Trying to go for 7, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's just being responsible with what you have too.
Yeah.
You know, when you see an operation doing that, they're doing it right. And I do agree with Mark though. I've had some questions about, you know, hey, well, look, if we're getting more for our millages, are we going to keep the millages the same?
Well,
That's
that's up to the police jury and the different entities. The assessor is just bringing us numbers in comparison.
And he was asked to be here.
Some entities need less millage, some right now need more.
Correct.
And that comes with the police jury and the
That's where
entities.
the list come in on needs, you know, what do you need?
And ultimately, it's
to
up
get
to
where we
you.
need to be.
Mr. President, I know Miss Rhonda's here. I'd like to see, because I know the CREO board's definitely open to listening and discussing stuff as far as the ambulance board, but I don't think they're really sold on, they don't see the need on combining. And I don't know if Miss Rhonda had anything to say about
Well,
that. So.
we'll get to meet with each of them as we go along. This is just for the public to see the numbers, for us to understand the numbers. And I think we'll have to meet with each one. Do anything without them boards.
Yep.
And then ultimately it's up to the people.
Ultimately, it is.
Yep.
Any other questions?
But Ms. Rhonda, if you want to talk, you're welcome.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, thank y'all. Y'all have a great day.
Appreciate it, Mr. Scott.
Thank you. And you are correct. The idea with the tax millage itself is not what affects us. Our ambulance districts run as 2 totally different operations. And I just think before you guys decide to combine us as one company, we do want to get with you guys and explain the perils and the difficulties it's going to be with our licensure. Our retirement is different. We have parochial, they have a different. Parochials all are none. So there will be so many changes for our guys and our crews that's our concerns right now.
Sure.
The millage, that's for you guys, I'm glad y'all are working on that, but just keep that in mind that we would still need to run as two different districts. We're totally opposite.
And that's all something we need to get with y'all to talk about. This is preliminary, looking at the numbers of what it could be. I realize there's a lot of red tape beyond this.
Yes, sir,
And
a lot.
that's where we'll get with y'all, each entity. And then, like I say, in the end, ultimately, it's up to the people, So no matter what we do, if the people says no, the answer is no.
And Rhonda, we want to tell you that structure-wise, the police jury is not gonna decide on that. We need input
Sure.
from each of the districts for the structure. We don't know how to structure the ambulance district. Y'all do. But this is, if it comes to a vote, it's gonna be on the financial end of the taxation. But the structure end I think is the biggest end that we will have to deal with. And we're gonna need a lot of help and a lot of input from everybody for that.
Please reach out to me. I'll be glad to help.
Just want to reiterate one thing. In the end, it's the people who's going to make the choice. We can talk about it all we want.
Sure.
But the people will make the choice.
100%.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Ron. All right, Mr. Thomas Schultz.
Mr. Nunez, thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
allowing me to talk. And Mr. Sonny, we met last month at the Legislature. It was a great 1,000 member networking event. I'm a business partner of Power Hydraulics in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I have a power hydraulic repair and machine shop. We're vetted to work at all the petrochemicals in Lake Charles area, and currently working in Venture Global, some of the contractors over there. And we're working for the city of Lake Charles, the parish, and we'd like to offer machine shop hydraulic repair services to the police jury. Just an inquiry how to actually get vetted and be qualified. I was wondering if I could just leave my card here and someone would reach out to us, or maybe the website, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll leave it to them, just a couple of, just in case.
Mr. Allen?
This is actually our public works superintendent too, so
Okay.
he might can step outside where he can talk to you.
My name's Tom. Mr. Nunez, thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'll see you later. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Bobby Miller.
Morning, gentlemen. Just a quick introduction. My name's Bobby Miller. My wife and I have owned a camp out at Rutherford Beach for about 17 years. I want to go back in time just very quickly, and then I'll get to my question for today. Back in late last year, I think late November, December, there was a request to abandon West Avenue from Cameron Drive to the beach. That's a very important, well-used access point for the West End camps. And most of the West End camps oppose that closure or abandonment. So I invited Mr. Daigle out to show him, just how important that West Avenue access was to us. Most of the West End camp owners submitted written opposition to the abandonment to the parish. And on December 19th, in the December 19th Cameron Pilot, it states the Cameron Parish Police Jury voted against abandoning Parish Road 364 West Avenue, beginning at Parish Road 362, which is Cameron Drive, to the south end, Rutherford Beach, Creole. So I bring this up because I bring it up now because I see on today's voting agenda, the issue has come up again to close West Avenue, item 11B. And I say close, I mean abandon. And in addition, now there's a request, I guess you call these, requests to abandon Cameron Drive from the intersection of West Avenue to the dead end. So, I mean, for the West End campers, and I spoke to most of them over the weekend, I mean, nothing has changed. West Avenue is still a very important access point for us. The Cameron Drive, if you abandon that from West Avenue to the west, that currently provides access to at least 3 camp owners west of West Avenue. So they oppose, or we as a group, oppose the, abandonment of West Avenue and Cameron Drive. So since the jury voted against abandoning West Avenue less than a year ago, I don't know what the time limit is on how often this can be brought up, but less than a year ago, we would like to ask that these 2 items, 11B and 11C, be removed from consideration by the jury in today's voting meeting.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Bobby, I spoke with you and went out there and we looked at it, took a good tour of all that. We're doing a lot of work. We've got a new road and bridge guy, Mr. Alex, he's right there behind you. But we was doing a bunch of work out there. Mr. Leslie, I believe, contacted Mr. Alex again. He brought up safety concerns. We went and looked at it on the one that's accessing to the south. Most of that.
Which one is that, Mr. Mark?
Huh?
Which one is that?
NB?
Yeah, it's gonna be, 10B, and then probably 10C is another one, but I think 10B. But anyhow, it's more of a safety concern because first off, it ain't but, how long is it? A couple feet? And then you're at the high tide, and then there's not much road there. The second thing is we're getting called almost monthly, weekly by the landowner complaining about everybody cutting across his private property. Secondly, the one that goes out to the west, almost all of that road is in the Gulf. Mr. Alex actually come out there and cleaned a lot of stuff up because I know that roadway was a valid thing to go around all them obstructions on the beach. Well, we cleaned all that up, and we're trying to get back that road that been underwater on the beach, reroute drainage, where y'all can utilize all that. But I believe Mr. Alex and myself kind of brought it up. It's more of a safety concern because we dug a bunch of culverts up that people could have hit. That's our road. It's out on the beach. I mean, if the beach was built back up, we would love to keep the roads on the parish's dime. But the problem is the beach has got 90% of the roads. You can go, there's a Jeff Davis electric poles. The utility is supposed to be underground. It's 2 foot in the air. I mean, the beach took that much of it, and it's just, we got to pull it back to where we can keep up the rest of it, because I mean, unfortunately, it's not coming back. You know,
I think
there's that one spot right there.
Oh, okay.
And then that's the other one cutting across, and then there's still going to be an access point to
I
Rutherford
mean,
Feet.
the access point, as you can see, is well more than a couple of feet. I mean, it's what we use to access the beach from the West End campers. But back to your other comment, I think you're confusing Gulf Drive with Cameron Drive. Gulf Drive is gone. I mean, it's completely gone. But Cameron Drive, you can drive straight down Cameron Drive. Y'all just put in the fresh rock.
Correct.
You continue on past West Avenue, you come to the Pruitt camp, you come to the Ryland camp, you come to the McDonald camp. Those people still need access to their camps. I mean, you can drive, there is no underground protrusions or hazards in the Cameron Drive right away. I think you're thinking of Gulf Drive. And I'd be happy to meet you out there again and we can walk through it again.
Well, if you stayed straight, I mean, we went, Mr. Alex can speak on it a little bit. Most of that road's in the Gulf. We went pulling culverts up.
Past the camps, yes, past the camps. But I mean, the motion is to close from West Avenue westward, which, I mean, how would the people access their camps? I mean,
Yeah. No, I get that, but the thing about it is, most of that roadway is where high tide is, and maybe we can stop it at the camps going that way, but we don't need our road to continue. See how far that road is? If you pull it up on Google Earth, you got a couple hundreds of feet that's out in the Gulf. I mean, we can, for that one, we can at least pull it back to the last camp and try to knock off the rest.
yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, if you keep going straight on Cameron Drive, it eventually, you run into water. But there's still good road there to get to those last set of west camps.
Yeah, we could, I think we can make it state at the last camp to cut it off there. But the one to the south that goes directly to the beach, I think that one we're going to make sure to abandon, or at least I would like to see so. Because Mr. Alex brought up some great points, and I mean he could come and state his concerns, because he's the ones that's got to deal with the roads, you know.
How much good road do we have past the last camp?
Good road, you ain't got none.
There's
One to the west, you ain't got.
where the last camp is, then if you go into the west, there's no more.
Yeah, the last camp got, what, 3-4 foot of sand on top of the road?
They're, okay, so this is,
That's passing in front of Miss Sonia's place, if I'm not correct. Go down to the third pole. That third pole's actually in the water down there.
okay. So you probably got, I mean, I don't know, 50 or 100 feet past the last camp.
Yep. So we can stop that one at the.
But the concern is when you abandon these roads, it's not so much the maintenance of the roads. I mean, I said in my previous email to the parish that, I mean, our gang on the west end, we probably have about 6 tractors amongst us. I mean, we're happy to drag a blade across it from time to time if needed, but the concern is, and I may be wrong, but if a road is abandoned, then it reverts to the adjoining landowners and they can block access.
Correct.
So we certainly don't need to block access to the west end. You know, if somebody would take, you know, if we block it at West Avenue, Cameron Drive going west, somebody could claim that and block those camp owners, right? I mean, I'm asking.
On to the west, yes, that's why I said we'll stop it at the camps, but all the rest that's in the beach, we need to basically, for legal purposes, do away with. And like I said, I got Mr. Alex in there. How many culverts and stuff and asphalt and everything you picked up?
34 culverts.
Not to mention they got their sewer tanks out in the beach out there, piping. I mean, it just, it was a whole nother road there.
That's right. That's Gulf Drive. That is definitely in the water. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And that set of camps was between Gulf Drive and Cameron Drive.
I would like to see us going west, stop it at the last camp, if we can do that, or table it till we get better wording of that. But the one going south to access the beach, we got to access not a quarter mile from there. I mean, it's literally. Do you have the measurements on it, Mr. Alex?
I don't. It's not far. To the next to the beach entrance.
Yeah, but that one's going to be way longer. It's
It-
maybe
well,
40
Rutherford
foot
Beach.
long. It's probably 30 foot, and then you add high tide. You know, we'd have to start putting structures up, because it was brought up to us, what happens if somebody just goes drive off in the Gulf? So it's more of a safety concern on that one. And it's been an ongoing issue between the landowner and people on their properties, and, you know, I think for a safety concern and getting a good, that frontage road right there that stayed underwater, we're working. I think September 1st, we could reroute the drainage, so that's a go, and y'all could more than go westwards or onto Rutherford Beach, where everybody always went through it. But y'all still be able to go to the west. We'll stop it at the last camp for them to have a right of way.
Okay, and what does that mean exactly? I mean, obviously we'll keep riding to the west on our, you know, side by side, but the maintenance stops.
Yeah, the maintenance will stop at the maintenance and upkeep will stop, and it won't be the parish's right of way no more. We're gonna abandon it. It's gonna go back, I would say, to the landowner, but in my opinion, it's gonna go back to the state because it's beach.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the rest of it will keep up. And hopefully one day, if it ever builds back up and there's a potential to do a road and we get some of this money, we'll try to get another lease on it or make it a road and rebuild it. But right now, I think that's in the best interest of the parish and for the safety concerns thrown up. I know it'll be a burden on y'all. Y'all gotta go either west or east to get on the beach instead of just straight, but, you know, Mr. Alex probably could contest as well as myself. I come meet with y'all a few times, but I'm out there constantly over the landowner griping, saying the parish needs to stop the people from driving on his property, which that's a personal concern, but it's tying us up, and we feel like that portion is a big safety concern, and I think we need to abandon it for those reasons.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, we still have the option to submit written opposition.
Correct.
When the time comes, right?
It'll be advertised.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Anthony Terrio.
I would rather wait to speak until, we see the update on the sludge and everything,
I don't think we have it's not on the agenda.
Okay. Well, I'd just rather not speak to you.
Mr. James Hyde. I don't know.
Electric bill?
You got his card right here.
Are we not gonna get an update from anybody about what's happened? Or are we waiting for the voting meeting for that?
Mr. President would let them, it sounds like they look ready to give up.
Yeah, we can give an update. I'll give an update. I'd rather wait too. I have another point that's not related to the sludge, that's on the voting meeting, this cooperative endeavor agreement between, what is it, Cameron Land Ventures?
I think, Mr. Hyatt, that's gonna be pulled.
That's gonna be, I would appreciate if y'all would, I don't have enough information to even talk on it, so if y'all pull that, it'd be great. And I'll come back and speak after we have an update. Is that all right?
Well, does anybody with Venture here? Do you want to give any?
Sure. Come on up.
Okay, thank you.
See you there, Mr. Ford.
Good morning, Mr. Nunez. Corey Musser from Venture Global. I have a couple of my colleagues with me. This is Jansen Worster from our Marine Group. I think you know Sarah Roy. Peter Bell's Vice President Environmental in my group. There were some emails last couple of days from the jury just asking questions about the CP2 dredging. So we have a large map which we would propose to hold up for you all. It's not going to be on the screen. We can turn it around so people can see it and kind of explain what we've been doing in recent days. But just before we get to CP2, the loop dredging where we had the sediment excursion, let's say several weeks ago. Just as an update, the small dredger is being moved into position. We're expecting the remediation, which has been authorized by the different permitting agencies, to start in the next couple days. So we've been working with the landowner to get the necessary permissions to access the property for that work. We'll keep you posted. The volume of material we estimate to be about 15,000 cubic yards. We think with that small dredger, it's going to take a couple weeks to get all of that out of there. And that material will be placed inside the designated permitted area for the loop dredging, and we build some additional berms inside that containment area just as a further safeguard. So expecting to start that work the next 2 days. The dredger is on site, it's just being put into position. We started the dredging last week for down near Monkey Island for the CP2 project. And so there were some questions over the weekend about, how is the water being flowed and where is it going, and were there, I think there were some concerns that there were breaches, unexpected problems with water flow, and that's not the case at all. We have a map, and we can walk you through exactly where the material was being placed, where the waters were being flowed, and then some of the measures that, you know, like silt curtains and hay bales that are put in place to minimize turbidity. So if it's okay, we'll open that up and walk through that and answer any questions that you have. But back to the loop just for a moment. In addition to the removal of the spoils on Mr. McCall's property, we continue to do surveys. And so we're doing a survey that has about a 1 mile radius from the no-name weir. As discussed before, if anyone has been harmed or injured or suffered as a consequence of that, please have them reach out to Sarah, to me. Our website is obviously there, and there's a complaint mechanism, but, you know, a lot of people know Sarah, some people know me, you know how to get a hold of me. And if anyone's been harmed or injured, we'll jump on that and try to resolve that fairly, you know, ASAP. The dive surveys associated with this bottom survey in the lake, again with the 1 mile radius, they're going to be conducted this week, so we don't have the data yet. But if, again, I just repeat, if anyone thinks that they've been harmed, please have them contact us or you contact us, and we'll go and look at the areas, you know, with you or with others, okay? So if it's okay now, we'll open up that map and talk about CP2.
Yep.
Okay. We'll turn it around to the.
Okay, so again, this is specific to the CP2 dredging project. Currently, as of right now, the dredge is not pumping at the moment. We are discharging into this area here, which is fully contained with all berms on the east side, as you can see here, along with these green berms here. So the blue lines show how the water is being funneled through this marsh creation area up to the north. This is a controlled discharge point between this fully enclosed berm into this enclosed area as well. So the water will funnel into this area here, and then further discharge, a controlled discharge into this area here, which is fully contained with levees along the entire south and borders the west berm here with the CPRA No-Name Bayou project. So this water would flow through this area and then out the north into this hook channel that is part of our CP2 and loop permitted fiscal year. We are in the process of constructing a berm here that will further divert the water to the south to create a longer passage for those sediments to pass out before they finally come through this natural conveyance channel and then out into the North Rim channel here. So, as Corey mentioned, you know, one of the first steps is to dredge out this area to the east, to the east of the No-Name Weir, and then this will, you know, collect in sediments, which will not escape because we'll have.
Speak up as loud as you can, I don't
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Are y'all only gonna be dredging
I'm sorry?
in 2 areas right there? Are y'all only gonna be dredging in 2 areas?
No. Well, initially we need to dredge these areas here and this area so that the water can flow out of here, and this is where that sediment.
It's where we had the excursion a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm asking is because in the lake south of there on T-Boy's property is full. You're gonna dredge that out, all that spoil that's in that lake right there on his lake is gonna go right back into the ditch, in my opinion. But also way on the other end, I don't see no talks over there that they got spoiled. And between the North Cameron ELC levee and that green line, which some of the guys on the drainage board think it's not a drainage problem, but I'm gonna bring it to their attention because it's got spoiled there too. And it's only to, y'all bring a lot to the community, y'all really do. It's to work with y'all and to be good stewards. Y'all got a permit, the spoil got outside the kitchen, and reading some of this stuff, it concerns me because whoever designed it, and I know it wasn't y'all that designed the project, and clearly, I don't know, I don't want to talk too much, I don't know if it's a design failure or what, I know y'all didn't intend it, but in the paperwork, it clearly states y'all did before soundings to where y'all can go do this dredge job when y'all was done with it, so to me, it was anticipated that the spoil was gonna get out. So, you know, and this is just my voice in future endeavors, especially with dredging jobs, and not so much just with y'all, just in general. I would like to see us crack down a little bit and try to work with the people where we don't have a lot of these people in here that's already getting harmed, and this is affecting them. But, you know, we can all work together and have a good solution. Just talking with some of the guys, I would hope Venture and some of the fishermen could have more deep conversations of their issues instead of just going, looking, and leaving. I would appreciate that from y'all. I'll let y'all finish.
Can I ask a couple of questions while y'all, I guess, Fred went to the stopping point anyway. Are you testing the waters at the end and seeing how much sediment drops out? Are you checking it in the segments, or are you just?
We are performing a water quality test as well. So we've got a test area here where it's native conditions, and we're testing throughout this disposal area and this discharge point as well.
Second question I got is, if you start that small dredge, is the water still going out in the same direction?
We started here and discharged into here.
Yeah, when you're gonna start that dredge, is that water gonna have to be in that canal to get out?
Its discharge will be into here. The water will eventually flow back out into this.
I understand what the little dredge is gonna discharge. I'm talking about, is the water from CP2 dredging going out the same place at no name?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna be stirring that stuff up in that no name with that water going through there. Are y'all prepared for how much might come out as you stir that, as you take that?
We're not expecting any sediment to move. We do have.
Oh, y'all joke.
We do have multiple layers of turbidity.
All right, guys.
To keep the,
Just a second.
to keep the turbid water and to keep
So,
it.
and you understand why I'm asking that? I mean, we're right there close to the mouth of no name, and if we agitated them, and we got water flowing through it, it's got to go out.
So there will be a turbidity curtain on the south side of the no-name weir to prevent any turbid water from flowing through the weir. There will also be another turbidity curtain east of the dredge as it's working east, and another one on the far east side of the boundary of where we have found this to contain turbid water and material. And there'll also be, we have multiple layers of turbidity curtains throughout the system as well to filter water as it flows.
As that dredge moves east, down the, what do you call that, the channel, or?
North River Channel?
North River Channel. As it moves east down the North River Channel, how far are y'all expected to go, or is that into the east end of the green, the actual stopping point?
Yes, sir. That is the stoppage point.
That's the stopping point. Even if you get there and it's a foot deep, which I'm pretty sure it may not even be because I didn't make it that far. But what I'm saying is that silt has definitely gone, as far as I'm concerned, gone further to the east than that stopping point.
You're saying here.
Right. Yeah. If you go back to the end, almost to the entire east end of that project. If y'all continue that direction, are y'all gonna continue if it's still there, or is that y'all stopping?
Yes, sir. We have pre-conditioned surveys from before we started to present day. So we will compare those, and if this is further to the east, we will definitely go from there.
And did y'all, I know Mr. Jim Stoneman, or whatever his last name is, told me in them lakes I'm concerned about. He said they had according to this, y'all only did the canal. Did y'all do all these private lakes?
We have surveys of, this area to the west here, from a few years ago. I'd have to get back to you on the actual.
Okay, what about way on this side? Down, keep going, all the way on the bottom corner. And what blows my mind is there's a man shack on the corner of that road, and everybody leaves from there in Elbow, and it's got all them people's marshes full of silt. You know, I don't know at this point if you leave it in there, because the impact will be more. I mean, I don't know about that. We're all for the project, but when it gets outside of that area, it's our duty to make sure it's cleaned up. As far as people getting paid in that, I said it before, we not in that business to get involved with that, but we are here for them to get heard, and we are here to, make sure the right thing's done.
One of the things we have done is put additional berms down this side here to compensate.
Yeah.
So I understand that there is.
Yes, sir, because in that lake right on the outside of the berm, that whole lake's full. So every minute, every hour, every day, the tide goes in. But when it goes in, it pushes it further in. Because that silt, don't have no weight to it. It's very loose. And then when the tide goes out, so we shut no name, y'all shut, CPRA shut our name Weir. Well, it was almost another month. It was flowing through the fish bays, and they closed those up. Well, now that tide is still tidal, so now it's pulling it that way. So not only it's coming out at the end, but the other places that spoil or silt got out or whatever we want to call it, it's in the lake, even though that's going to be Commonwealth, I think it is, but it's not levied off. And every time the tide comes in and goes back out, it travels that silt through that lake, and it's moving. So that's my biggest concern is to stop it and get it, and I think that's y'all's too.
Well, if you could please help us by having people, reach out to us, we'll jump on it and go check it out. This is the kind of game plan that gets started this week, but there are other areas we need to go to that we just need to know, and we'll incorporate that into the work plan.
One last question. Would y'all be willing to work with the drainage board so that we can have people on site, bringing the landowners to the table, if you per se, show that if we don't agree, we think there's a silt here that needs to be removed, y'all would be willing to work with them on that?
Or we go physically with them to.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And Mr. Ford, can we kind of show this to,
Yeah.
we work with these people here out in the audience.
So we'll just do a.
Yes, sir.
Shorter version of this.
You go in front of the table, if
Yeah.
front of the deal, if you want. The balance of the estuary system is a big difference.
So to recap, this is where the initial excursion went a few weeks ago, this pink area and this green area. So when we were talking about the small dredger, starting in the next couple days and taking a couple weeks to clean that out, that's what we're talking about here and here. And it'll go into this red area, which is permitted, and we put some new berms around to prevent anything from leaving. So we were talking about that. Mr. Bordelon was saying he thinks it's thicker or silted in here. And we said, when we get there, we'll see. And then Mr. Daigle was talking about some areas down here of concern. And so anyway, we'll check out any and all areas that people bring to our attention. And then the no name here, we're doing a 1 mile survey in the lake of the water bottom, and the field work will be done for that this week, the dives. Then we were talking about CP2 and the activities the last couple of days, and I'll turn it back to Jansen, and he can just kind of explain the flows around these blue arrows. And if people have questions, please. That's okay.
I got one question. Y'all pumping this stuff in our sanctuaries where our shrimp grow and, all our wildlife. Y'all pumping this stuff, y'all gonna kill us down here. 'Cause that's where our shrimp grows and all comes out, we make our living. Y'all pump this stuff in there, y'all gonna ruin us. Y'all already run us anyway, but besides the point, y'all keep pumping this stuff. We out of business, and it's wrong. We was here way before Global Venture and any of this other stuff was here, and it's wrong what y'all doing.
Sorry to hear you say that. Respect
No,
your-
it ain't sorry.
your-
Y'all are doing
your,
it.
You know, the pumping,
And y'all know
the
y'all
goal,
doing it
the
wrong.
goal of this pumping, and part of why we got it permitted, is
Y'all
to
shouldn't have never got a
create
permit.
New
It's
marsh,
our police jury that should
200
give y'all
acres
that
of new
permit.
marsh. That's what this pumping is the end goal, is to create new marsh, like we did with the CP1 project. It was about 135 acres. This is gonna be bigger, but I respect your opinion. I'm not, please.
We had a four-motor airboat the other day, and the marsh trying to pull this grass through the mud. I burned one of the motors up. You can't pull something, go 2.5 foot of water in 2 inches of water. You got to dig that out with a backhoe. The damage is done. And, when they built the first LNG, the big plant, they pumped it offshore from a quarter of a mile to a mile. The Corps of Engineers told me from a half a mile from the channel is the dumping zone. So I went 4.5 miles from the channel. Here we are 6 years later, just getting where we can drag the beach again. 6 years later. I got rocks in my wheel, tore my wheel up, tore my broke my shaft, tore my clutch up, tore my coupling up, $1,950 for a coupling. 3.5 inch stainless steel shaft. Tore the rudder off my boat. Cost me $15,000. Do you pay for it? I did. Y'all dumping in a no dumping zone. And like this chemicals, you know how many chemicals come out this river? I lived on this river back all my life, born and raised. Some of us right here. That's my brother just talked to you first. How many years these oil companies dump this freaking chemicals, this mud, this really mud in our rivers? Y'all pump that in our estuaries. Gonna kill the oysters, gonna kill the shrimp, the crabs, and the fish. My little grandson, great-grandson, he's 5 years old, he's fishing up there, catching 3 5-pound flounders on top of my grandson's boat. Flounders don't leave till October. Everything's going out. But y'all dumping chemicals out this river, 30 foot, y'all dragged it 30 foot into our marsh. I lived on the riverbank for years. They were taking mud with a crane and slinging it out the river. I ain't mentioning no names, you done it. And y'all grabbed all that and y'all put it in there. Y'all choking us, killing us out.
And you said it's like a marsh, my name's Gretchen, you said it's like marsh recreation, okay? So sure, but what are we gonna do right now while y'all are destroying our marshes right now until 6 years from now, being commercial fishermen out here on the land? You know, so what are we gonna do right now? It's all getting messed up right now. Sure, maybe for the future, for the marsh recreation, for our estuaries and all that, but like, what do we do in the meantime? You know, commercial fishermen, what do we do? Like he said, we're being choked out in a way. And like our police jury said, y'all bring so much. We wanna work with y'all. We just want what's right. We want what is just and fair to work with y'all to do things the proper way so we can continue our livelihood the same way y'all make money and bring food to the table for y'all's family. This is how we make our money and bring food to the table for our family.
It'll never come back.
That's
It'll
gonna be
never
bad.
come back. Y'all killed the whole eco food.
I have a question. Y'all said y'all had divers go out there, check for that sludge or
This
whatever
week,
it's called.
this week.
Well, I do all my diving on my boat, my dad's boat, my brother's, all of us. I do the diving. And I know from experience, you go under that water, you get full of sludge or mud or silt, whatever, off the boat. You coming back up out that water with the air coming out that diving rig, that stuff's gonna wash off of you. So how are you getting an accurate, test or whatever on diving?
So it's actually a scientific method that is developed by Wildlife and Fisheries.
Scientific method?
Yep,
Now,
absolutely.
I dive on my boat, my dad's boat, I know from personal experience. I'm not no scientist, but real life, personal experience, I know. You can't
didn't find none.
It's oyster sampling.
Still washing the mud off when you come up. I mean, common sense.
I get in the water and I get the oysters out the water.
Yep.
You come up, same thing.
Is there any third-party testing being done, and do we have access to those results? And data?
Third
The
parties.
third party would be
review,
the,
I think.
the consultants that we have out there. Is that third party?
We don't have access to the data. The work is ongoing now.
But like your testing, like what they're talking about, is it being monitored by a third party?
It's being monitored by a handful of government agencies.
Do we have access to data?
Fish and Wildlife, CPRA is involved, LDENR, DWF, you know, and others.
But y'all aren't doing any third-party, like peer review?
No,
None? And what margin of error did you guys consider when doing your modeling?
I didn't hear you.
What margin of error did you use when doing your modeling?
We got input on the radius and how far we go for the survey from the agencies, you know, the distance.
It's an agency protocol.
Do you know the margin of error?
To your point, the excursion, you know, a few weeks ago, a month ago, that shouldn't have happened. Everything should have stayed in that permitted area, right? And so now we're going to look to see if anything went out into the lake.
Yeah.
And I understand he's skeptical.
Into the lake, I mean, it's common sense, it's all over the,
Yeah.
internet, it's on media and
everywhere,
stuff.
it's out there.
Y'all foul up.
Yeah, I've seen
I
a lot of
mean,
videos. Well, I guess what I would, all I
You
can.
haven't seen the video?
Y'all have seen the videos?
Yeah.
There's plenty of them.
What I would say, you know, if you don't believe that the method for the surveys is valid, that, you know, I can respect your opinion.
You come join me for a day diving and going oyster, getting them oysters how we gotta do it. And then you tell me if you still believe how y'all tested.
We just going down there, if you grab the oyster, by the time you get to the top of the water, the mud's gone.
Yeah.
You gotta rate it over.
You got diving rig with
But
everything.
we got evidence, we got some of it.
Yeah, take you a look at this. If you don't think it's going into the lake. That's no name biting. You see that mud?
That was 2 days before we met with y'all out there, but I was in that boat with Joe when we met with y'all.
Ms. Sheriff,
August.
I have a question.
August.
What day did y'all start pumping?
if we could,
With
Do you
the
see
dredge?
mud
There's some
going out
way-
into the lake?
Miss Katie.
What's the
there's some
date
way
y'all
we
started?
already
Yeah, that's what we
contact
do.
y'all, you know, okay,
Okay.
okay, and
It was in June when y'all started, right?
June 10th.
Okay,
on
so
itself,
June 10th y'all started pumping.
if there's some.
I worked at Marsh with
which-
Joby the last 2
on
years.
it fast.
June 10th y'all started.
Just wait one second.
What's his name, Josh? Is Mr. Josh Parker in here today?
Yes, he is.
I know he works with Wildlife and Fisheries. I asked Miss Katie to reach out to him to see, because I know he been doing something. I don't know what Wildlife and Fisheries is ready to release or not, but if
Yeah,
Mr. President
we
wouldn't.
definitely would like to hear from the wildlife fisheries.
What we've done at this point is pretty much.
Can you come up to the mic?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
We'll get back.
Please do.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all, is that got a little out of order here, but
Yeah, we're good.
I just like the dialogue, it looks good, we're working together.
So what we've done at this point is primarily our routine independent sampling in the south end of the lake. We actually happened to have a crew out there when I heard about the incident behind No Name. So we were doing dredges the day after, a couple of days after the incident. We did some quarter-meter dive samplings on our newest culture plant, which is roughly half mile from No Name, I believe. That was on the 19th. Then we saw some, what I would consider abnormal amounts of sediment there, and a little bit of oyster mortality that was higher than probably I would have expected. So I requested to do some extra dredges. We did those on the 25th. And again, found some abnormal amounts of sediment in some areas were perfectly fine. So that's about point. We're still monitoring, and we're gonna be out there again next week.
And I know y'all do monthly sampling, correct? And
We do the monthly dredge sampling.
so just say prior to this incident, is that consistent like throughout this year that settlement was on them, or is that something that's new?
I would consider what we saw abnormal.
Okay.
Is that information available to the public?
Not yet, but we can do a public records request.
Well, I'm just asking if you're posting it somewhere that they can access it.
It's not online or anything, no, sir.
Have y'all had any correspondence with, I guess, the Cameron Port Board or the Venture Global?
I think some folks in Baton Rouge, I haven't had correspondence directly, but yeah, I know our folks in Baton Rouge have been speaking with them.
And Josh, how long does it take with that abnormal sediment to kill an oyster? How long roughly?
It's tough to say. Kind of depends on how heavy and thick the overburden is. It could take some time. It could take weeks, potentially.
Have y'all been noticing a lot of dead oysters?
In some areas, it's been a little bit higher than a normal August, but other areas, it's kind of been on par.
Any idea how this would affect any other wildlife, say shrimp, fish, things like that?
Well, in the lake, oyster's kind of a keystone species, so if oysters are affected, it's probably gonna have an effect on a lot of things.
Do y'all do any sampling on like the I forgot the name of it, but the floating oyster farms out there?
No, sir, we don't.
Okay, cause I know they're floating, and from talking and speaking with all of them, I know Venture and the port went out there, but I know I went and from before videos to now videos, and them being a business to make money, and how their mortality rate is just to me off the chart. And those are floating, so you know. But I hate that all this had to come up with a project tied to Venture, but I appreciate them coming out and having an open dialogue with everybody. But this ain't just with them. I'm working on right now in Grand Chenier. The guy earlier spoke about a dredging job in Grand Chenier. Just with the silt coming out, I say the silt, just with the runoff water, it took those fishermen, there's only a handful of them in Hog Bayou, and they're getting me the trip tickets, but this is totally separate from VG. But it took them up to 3 or 4 years. They're just getting now to where they can catch catch crabs. So this kind of just shined a light on something that us as leaders of the parish just need to kind of look into more and be more involved with, and actually, listen to the fishermen when they got some concerns. That's just my point. It's just to work together to have a good future for everybody involved.
Any more questions?
This gentleman here. So, I worked back there in that marsh the last 2 years with Joey. Around June 10th, y'all started pumping. Before we ever seen any sediment, we seen a lot of stagnant water. There was dispersing so much water that that's tidal marsh. It's got to go in and out. The water just steady going out all the time. We catch most of the crabs from No Name Weir to the Game Warden line, which is on the east end, where all that dredge spoil come out. Around the 16th or the 17th, we were still seeing a lot of crabs. We're running traps every day. Still seeing a lot of crabs on that end, but every one of them's dead in those pots. So before we seen the sediment, the water quality was killing the seafood back there before we ever seen sediment. I mean, it got so bad that I think it was mid-July, I left from working back there because there wasn't nothing but money to be made before we seen the sediment. So the water quality is also a big issue with dispersing that water out of there.
And that's why we're taking extra measures for testing water and putting extra turbidity curves.
I have pictures of days.
Understood.
Number where we're catching, we're weeks, we're catching 160 boxes a week back there running 120 traps. And then the next week, we're doing 60 boxes on the same amount of traps, double baiting and running them, every 2 days instead of 1 day, because the catch went down drastically because of water quality.
Rather, if the mud got out, just the water's gonna kill the ecosystem. I mean, you're gonna kill everything back there with just the water.
that's running off.
Yeah, one moon we had.
You digging where they had, I'm Philip, I growed up with him on the riverbank, and I know they throw, you wouldn't even believe what they throw in that river. And y'all dug it up and put it in our estuary.
What office are y'all out of? Where's your home office? Where is your office?
Houston,
Houston.
and
Okay.
Arlington,
All
those
of
are
y'all.
the corporate
Y'all all
offices.
come out of Houston.
I come out of
And
Virginia,
Arlington.
Sarah works here, Jansen works here, and Peter works in Houston, so we're different
Okay.
places.
Now, we have a deep water port, that's why you're here, right?
Right.
How many deep water ports are there in the United States that would suit what y'all are doing?
You know, I think we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
No, well, the
Here,
point
not-
is.
not many,
The
and
point
this has been
is that
documented, but
you need to
respectfully,
work.
that's not
The
really the
point
issue.
is, you need to work with us, because there's not a lot of deep water ports. Where else are you gonna go? Why did you come here? So you need to work with all the fishermen, you need to take care of the environment, because you don't have a choice, because there's not a lot of deep water ports for you to use. So it's not about us giving something to you. You need to work with us, because you have no choice but to use our deep water port.
Well, we want to be here, and I don't disagree with anything that you said. We chose Cameron 12 or 13 years ago for a bunch of reasons. And that choice clearly made some people unhappy and wish we weren't here, and I hear that.
The choice doesn't
but-
make it unhappy, it's you not taking care of the environment.
We don't wish y'all weren't here. We just love our culture, our heritage. We love our waterways. We love our fishing. We love our commercial fishing. We just want to protect that. That's what we're here to do.
That's how we all make a living. And have fun. Yeah, and have fun also.
Yeah.
But,
I
yeah,
heard
y'all
of-
are also taking that all the way, very quickly.
I want to speak from the charter guide area from my perspective. And also say I got 26 years in the oil industry. I'm not against no oil and gas. But I'm gonna tell you right now, whoever engineered this operation is freaking ought to be fired straight up. It's the most worst thing you could do. It was not well planned. I pulled up every permit, I pulled up everything, I've done research on it, and what y'all did was pretty, you killed off years. There's no way around, you killed off years of ecosystem. Just like all these guys who are oyster fishermen, the oysters are the heart of this lake. That's it starts with the oyster. You kill the oyster, you kill everything. You're killing oysters, there's no doubt about it, even the wildlife fishers, and they don't even do extensive, research like we need to be done, because they're limited on their funding. Here's the deal. Y'all put y'all's name on fishing tournaments in Cameron, picture global sponsor. What the hell do you do for fishing? Cheniere Energy's the same way, and I'm sure Cameron LNG the same way. Don't put your name on our stuff if you ain't gonna do nothing for it. If I was the police jury, if I was the sheriff, if I was anybody, you wouldn't get another damn permit, except it was for getting rocks, they gonna fix that lake. That'd be the next permit, period. Because what you did, you destroyed it, you're killing everybody. And if nobody wants to fix it and do it what's right, then, I mean, just turn everything over to LNG, just dig the whole damn lake out 70 foot and give us all royalties. But you, like they said, I asked for water samples, I asked for testing, I'm certified, I know how to test all. I test all the gas for 26 years. I've been asking for it, nothing. What's the name of that company? Delta. Y'all said Delta was out there 3 weeks ago. Delta Coastal Consultants was out there, said the lake was fine, there's nothing in the lake. So who's lying? You say they starting tomorrow, who the hell's lying? That was a news release from Venture Global that this Delta was out there and the lake was fine. That's bullshit, the lake ain't fine. Somebody to go out there and look, it don't take no rocket science. I'm not a damn biologist, I'm not an engineer, I don't have no kind of first degree. I know what the hell's wrong with it. It's easy to fix, but y'all don't want to fix it. You want a lot of people, like you said, Delta was out there and said the lake was fine. The lake ain't fine.
How would you fix it?
How would I fix it? I would get a bunch of rock and I'd start rocking all that erosion up. I would get back there, I'd suck that whole marsh out and put it back the way it was before.
I won't answer that question. How would they fix it? How you
use some of that money that Venture Global got, get the right machines in here, the right people in here, maybe some people from Louisiana, instead of all from around the world, instead of right here where we live at, where we live and work and sleep and eat. This stuff is gonna kill all our kids and all that. Y'all ought to know better than that. When y'all first come in here and built that plant right there, you already knew what you was doing from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? You come in here, you start digging that place out, and all that stuff run everywhere. You knew what you was doing before you started it. You know, it makes no sense. It don't take a rocket scientist to know that if I go out here and did this, I'm gonna mess up something, I'm gonna kill something. To make sure that it don't happen, you put things in place before you start digging.
Hey, guys, if, look, gotta keep it to you, you know, to the mud here and the damage done, and, let Venture answer any questions on what they're doing to fix what they believe is wrong, and we can go from there. But, you know, we don't have, we'll be here for a week.
I think to that point, that you know, this happened at least almost a month ago. If you can answer that, who was supposed to be monitoring the discharge? So Venture Global was supposed to be monitoring? And what day did you find out that it had this excursion had escaped containment? August, the news report says August 5th, August 4th.
Yeah, I mean, we did have people monitoring it. You know, we have environmental inspectors, and they were on top of it, and it happened quickly. And as soon as we found out, it wasn't like, James, that, you know, this was, oh geez, we missed it 5 days ago or 7 days ago. We didn't have someone there. That's not the fact pattern.
I mean, we've heard from others that since at least July 24th that there were reports of this escaping.
Yeah, that's not consistent with our work and our records. You know?
But Venture Global was the one supposed to be monitoring it and supposed to be keeping it from.
We and our contractors, yeah, and as soon as we found out, you know, not to get too detailed, but as soon as we got word, we stopped the pumping operation immediately, so there was no more.
But the damage was already done. I mean, come on now.
And then to my other point.
You don't want to hear that.
Hey guys, let's let Venture state what they come to state. I know y'all got a lot of questions in that, but look, remember, we're all here for the right reasons. I believe Venture wants to do the right thing. They're gonna take it. Like I said, I think a lot of them are frustrated because y'all may have met with a few of these guys, and from talking with them, they would like another meet, another sit down, and more reassurance. But if anything, let's let these gentlemen finish giving what they come to give, and then, you know, y'all fill y'all's green cards out, come talk to the jury. Let's try to keep it from going to a negative place.
Okay. I'll wait for the green card.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just think, I'll take it.
And for damages, Sarah, they gotta get a hold of you, the fisherman? Okay.
We have already.
When, what I wanna know is,
A lot of them have.
this stuff's been dumped, nobody wants to take responsibility of it. Y'all still saying they never got the leak. First of all, y'all need to understand it did get the leak, so we can start working on the problem. But y'all still saying it never ended up leaking. We got the proof, y'all seen the proof. What's it gonna take to admit it's wrong and get this started and get something done?
Well, we're trying to take responsibility.
Time is real
The
sensitive.
memo, just as a point of clarification, the memo that people are referring to, that says there's nothing in the lake, that's not what that memo said. It said as of that point, we haven't found anything, but the survey work is ongoing. That's what the memo said a couple weeks ago. And so we're doing the surveys, and people may not think that the methodology is reliable or valid. I'll say what I said, you know, an hour ago. If there's specific places or areas that you want to direct us to, we will promptly go, and if you want to come with us, and investigate them. And we'll look at them with you together. If you have, we cannot respond and help if there's a general concern about what happened 30 years ago. or if people don't want us to be here at all. There's not much that I can do or the company can do about that. But if you say, hey, you know, this area, you need to look at this area, or this area is not the same it was before, or meet with these people, we will do that. I am unaware in several weeks of anyone trying to get a hold of us, saying they have an issue, and us not returning their call or getting with them promptly. Completely unaware. I'm happy to be corrected, and I'll be disappointed.
I've left a message. I haven't got a phone call.
I've tried, I left messages, never got a
Who are you
phone
leaving
call
on
back.
with? Because Katie, you want Katie to be the conduit in Kim?
Well, I think we had the 3 people to just kind of be involved, but I'm gonna just speak for myself, and I don't mean to cut anybody off. I just think we're starting to get a little off topic and going in the wrong direction. But I'll speak personally. I showed Mr. Jensen after our meeting about where they got some areas with settlement on. I still don't see it on the map. That's the frustration that the fishermen are giving. They're giving y'all and telling y'all is there. I can get up right now and take you in a boat and go show you every place where it's at. And what's bad, you ain't gonna be able to deny it because there's no water there. It's settlement. It's not about that. It's not about it got out. It's the first email that I sent to y'all, and I meant it. Things happen with productivity. When accidents occur, because anything you do, there's always something that can go wrong. I don't know what happened or how it happened, but I know it got out of where it's supposed to be. It's how y'all gonna respond to it. These gentlemen in here, I think they're actually coming in here being legit, because look, this is their livelihood. You got people that ain't getting paid right now because of this. I understand VG got policy and procedures. Some things take time, but y'all need to understand the longer it waits, take your checks and deposit in another account while all this goes on. That's what some of these guys are going through right now. So just be mindful of that. It's a little different world between y'all and them, but it's the same thing. That's their living, this is y'all's living. And I think that's what everybody's alluding to. They've been talking and people go look and then they leave. They don't get told nothing. They don't get told, hey, it looks like you got a case. Y'all go look and then y'all leave. Give these guys a little more reassurance, and I think that would go a long ways. But again, hopefully we can finish this and move forward. And like I said, I liked a lot of stuff, especially that young lady. It sounds like they all want to work together with y'all, and as does Venture. But we just got to find out how to bridge the gap, because how y'all used to doing business is different than how they doing business and how they react to stuff. So there's going to be a big bridge to gap between that. But you know, we need to make it right, and we need to get it fixed up for the parish as a whole. So.
Go ahead.
It would do you well if you would hold a Q&A with the commercial fishermen, just one-on-one outside of a police jury meeting, and get the facts, have a nice sit-down discussion versus, you know, we have to follow certain protocol here. But you're not getting, you have a lot of fishermen in here that won't stand up and speak in this type of meeting, but they'll sit and speak with you one-on-one. It would really do global a world of good if you would sit.
We'd really appreciate that, yeah.
Also, maybe we can get a couple of the fishermen to go ride with them. They can kind of represent the rest of y'all, you know, kind of get everybody's issues and kind of go, a couple of y'all go ride and, you know, show them the problems.
We can do that. Designating a couple of people as we did, the intent was not to put a bunch of process or roadblocks, but hopefully make the follow-up more actionable and accountable, right? Because you got a couple people. Plus, sometimes when you get a lot of emails and you get a great many videos, you know, and you don't know where those videos were taken or the date, you know, so we're just trying to not overdo it with information collection, but just have some process so we know where to look and who to talk to. But I think that's a good idea. We can do that.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Portaro. I'm an organization called Habitat Recovery Project. We have set up a fishermen's advisory council with some of the people in this room and have been having talks about solution-oriented conversations. It's undoubtedly true that they have been harmed over the last 4 years. We've seen trip tickets with drops in up to 85% since construction started. So having this happen has been, you know, like a nail in the coffin type scenario. But I think there's a lot of will to figure out where there's room to work together and do things like you said. We're so appreciative of you coming here, listening to the community, and standing up here and hearing about what's happened. I think you coming on boats, them coming on your boats, will create better understanding and trust to figure out the truth of what's going on. I think there could be fishermen-informed science. Your scientists have degrees. A lot of the fishermen, they have decades and decades on this water. They know the changes in the most minute ways. And I think there's options to maybe in the future dredge at a slower pace, inform the fishermen when it's happening, have them help keep an eye on things, potentially not doing it during oyster spawning season so the sediment isn't harming the spat, and would love to know the next steps to move forward to be able to create this bridge of communication with you all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for hearing us. Truly appreciate it.
Thank y'all. And, I'd just like to say, guys, we work a lot of times with Mr. Forey here, and he is a man of his word, and he's been good. And also, Mr. Forey, most of these fishermen in here is friends of ours. We grew up with many of them. I work myself personally with some of them, so it's all good folks, you know.
No one is gonna be the fishermen, the public, the sport fishermen, the commercial fishermen, the public, Venture Global, the police jury. No one's gonna be satisfied till it's all fixed. We all need to work together toward that goal. I like the suggestion of the fishermen talking to the Venture Global representatives, and we're glad that we formed a committee to look over this, and they went to the meetings with Venture Global, and Corey, we appreciate the communications, and look, citizens, everybody, fishermen, we appreciate y'all's communications. You know, you can call the police jury, any of your juror members, and thanks a lot for doing what you're doing, and this is a grave concern of all of us.
I'd just like to ask one question. We did talk about getting 2 or 3 spokespeople for the.
Yeah, I think it would be best if they could.
Do y'all have some names,
choose some.
so we can maybe even set up a meeting before y'all leave?
I think that's, the task force was getting with a bunch of them
Okay.
because.
Yeah, before I leave today, we'll sort
Okay.
something out for our next step then.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
maybe in the next week.
Hey, and I'd like to say this. We doing a pretty good job. I've seen you fishermen upset before, and I think y'all, I want to tell y'all doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
You're being calm, okay? These guys are doing the very best they can. This is new to everybody, so let's keep working together. I think they've done a pretty good job stepping forward and saying, you know, hey, we're gonna try to make it right and work with them. And like I said, we keep pushing this forward. We hopefully we'll get where we need to be.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hyde, you still want to say anything? Come on.
Thank y'all, Ms. Ford and Venture Global, thanks for showing up. This has gone on too long, and there's not been fishermen at the table, and there has not been transparency. The Port of Cameron, the police jury, the only information we get is because we pushed, and we got responses from Venture Global, but we don't have responses from LDNR or Army Corps. We've had to ask them for for open meetings to find out this information that happened over a month ago. We have not gotten information about what happened, why it happened, how it's being fixed until today, which is a good step in the right direction. But unfortunately, I am just a citizen of Calcasieu Parish. We do have some length here. The piece.
Just a second. We have anybody here from LDNR? Okay, go ahead.
I wish there was. I wish there was some kind of open, transparent thing that kind of like what happened. This wasn't quite as. Anyway, let me make my points and I'll sit down and shut up for a minute, or for today. Y'all are elected or appointed, Sheriff, to represent the people, the taxpayers of this parish. The taxpayers who we recently saw, the millage might go down. There's some other non-taxpayers in this building right now who have a lot of money that they are able to keep because of the people in Baton Rouge who allow for tax exemptions. Out of the goodness of their hearts, they finally gave some money to the school board here recently. It's almost $1 billion a year in tax exemptions. Talk about a road we can't get fixed because they ain't got money. Teachers in Plaquemines Parish, where they have one Venture Global, get $60,000 a year starting pay because they had a sales tax. I don't keep going on about the tax, but there's a lot of money in this room, not just Venture Global, that could go to help the people of this parish that is not happening. I would love to see Mr. Scott come up with a study about how much money the property tax exemptions and the fact that there's no sales tax, but allegedly a $50 billion investment in this parish. 1% sales tax on $50 billion is $500 million. And I thought that one thing that didn't get said earlier is that all of this was preventable. This was entirely preventable. In February, I came to this police jury and was worried about mud getting out. All of this turbidity curtains, and hopefully at this point, when they're dredging the island and putting it there, there'll be more monitors. But fool me once, shame on you. Are we going to get fooled again? That's a concern. And I ask my questions to them. The real thing is the fishermen, I believe, need to have a voice at the table whenever all these things happen. And it's important for not only the police jury, but the port board to engage with the residents and the fishermen who are the most affected by these billion-dollar companies. We can have a differing opinion on what's good and what's not. But and if they're unable to be good stewards, good neighbors, out of the goodness of their hearts, supply some money, I do believe Davis Road is a parish road, and I understand you can put a toll on a road, and if they can't come out with some money, nobody here is looking for a payout. They're looking for the estuary to be abundant and to be able to supply their needs like it has for generations. And if they really aren't trying to push the fishermen out, I hope that we will see an outpouring from all of these LNGs, that they actually care about the community and that the benefits aren't like the gas and are exported. The profits also stay in the parish. And I'll stop with that and thank you for your time.
Y'all don't care about
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Hey, Mr. Anthony, Mr. Tantario.
I think they answered most of our questions. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Jimmy Waltrip? Jimmy? Jeremy Waltrip.
Most of my questions did get answered, but I'm gonna go back with one more thing. Y'all want money solutions. 2016, Cameron Parish sued 100 oil companies, 100. They just settled that in 2023 for the exact same thing Venture Global just did. So y'all gonna hold them responsible and sue them too? That'd be a question that needs to be answered. Because it's gonna be hypocritical if you're not suing Venture Global for violating permits, for harming the economy, for everything you sued 100 other oil companies for. So I think Tom Baird needs to look at that, and I think Venture Global needs to be sued by Cameron Parish, just like BP, Shell, Apache, Hill Corp, everybody else was. Do y'all think that's something, y'all agree on that?
I know I'll speak on my behalf, and that's why I've been pestering Mr. Flory and Sarah and all their people. and also working with the fishermen, because like I said, I'm hoping everybody can work together. Hoping Venture takes care of this mishap or whoever's responsible. I hope they clean it up and fix everything and get it back on track. If not, I know my voice would be pushing to do just that, because what the permit says and what went on out there is
Exactly.
not the same.
So
So,
they violated several things, and I pulled up the lawsuit for the all business, the all companies, and I seen, I mean, they violated the same things.
I don't think the police jury's in the business for just suing people to sue them, but the oil companies, they didn't clean up what was stated on the permits from the best of my knowledge. And you know, I think BG is it sounds like they're here to do the right thing. As long as they're doing the right thing, I don't think the jury's looking to follow them. But I know, in my opinion, if they don't clean it up or take responsibility for their portion, I would not have to think too hard on that.
Well, I just want y'all to think about something that's optional. That's an option.
But Jeremy, we do have a plan. There is a huge plan, and it's already been set in place for a long time. It's called the Coastal Master Plan. If anybody wants to donate money to the Coastal Master Plan,
I know how you could get
we
some.
would be more than happy to spend that money on coastal restoration. So we do have a plan, have had for a long time, and some of these projects would be hugely beneficial.
You know firsthand.
I do, and I'm passionate about the same things you are.
One thing I want to say we did hear in the other meeting is about, you said they had this plan and they could build this stuff, but there was disagreement on about whose dredge spar they wanted to use the field. I don't care. And if they're gonna build the barriers and leave it, who cares who's dredge? They could fight for that for the next 20 years. Just fix stuff, put the rocks, you know, make the barrier. Then y'all can dish out whoever wants to fill it up.
Everything externally doesn't matter if you don't fix the root of the problem.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Roger Kelly. Oh, Roger Kelly.
He stepped out.
Lisa.
He said no, thank you.
Lisa, who's Lisa?
Shank.
Shank? State your name, please.
Lisa Shank.
Shank.
So we're a generation of fishermen. It's not about the paycheck for us, it's just a way of life. My family has been fishing for years. We have grandkids that are coming up that want to fish. It's not available for them. Right now, all the mud that's been pumped in through Lambert's and T-Boy's Cut, it's killed the siltus mode of the oysters. Are there any plans for Global to go in and reseed that area once we do have cleanup? The other issue is if this was an oil spill, they would have been on it already. We would have seen progress, we would have seen cleanup. But why haven't they taken the time to do that now? Sorry, my little note's going on. Earlier it was said if anybody was harmed, that we should reach out. But how you define harm when the damage is generational? It isn't about one paycheck or one season. It's about the destruction of a way of life for us. How do you plan to compensate for the future losses of the oysters, the fish, the shrimp, the crab, the generations after us that may never be able to go out and harvest these? This isn't just about today. This is about tomorrow, the generations that come after us. If nothing is done, there will be nothing left for them. We need action, not lip service. I know you guys have said that there were preventative measures now in place. Where were those preventative measures prior to dredging? And who's gonna be responsible? I know there was finger pointing in the last meeting that we had, that it was the Corps of Engineers' responsibility versus Venture Global, but shouldn't there have been oversight? And for whom? And when will we actually see work begin on repairing the damage that was done?
I know, just to touch on the oyster topic, and maybe VG's here and listen a little bit, and some of the fishermen are here also. The same incident happened like this, but it was in Grand Lake, on the opposite side of this one, on a dredging job, and the levee busted and they got out. Well, it killed a bunch of oysters over there. The company at the time, I believe, don't quote me or nothing, but they call it $1 million reef or something on this side. It's supposed to be between No Name and Lambert or whatnot. I don't know if that's the factual destination. But a lot of the oystermen this year was supposed to be the first year they was gonna get to fishing. Is that true or not? I don't know. But talking with a bunch of them, they said, look, we don't want Venture to go and build us another $1 million reef that's 5 years down the road, and then that just happened. And then when we went to go fish it this year, they may not be able to fish it, depending upon the damages or whatnot. So I think that's where it kind of hits home with me, because this did slide across our desk. But we just don't look at these that hard, because the Army Corps engineer, and it blew my mind that, to answer your question, I personally called the Army Corps engineer. All what they was worried about is they carved out this section and they had it, I think, back in 2016. They didn't really care. But I bet if I was building a levee on my property, they would care. I reached out to LDNR, and they was telling me all about this permit. I actually reached out to Mr. Flory and Ms. Kim, and come to find out, everything the gentleman told me, Kyle Boatman, he wasn't even telling me, because I read the paperwork myself, and everything he told me from LDNR didn't even match. So he called and apologized, and got me back on track. But the thing of it is you're right. There's a lot of eyes on this stuff, and when you call them, a lot of people don't know much about this, in my opinion. And that kind of bothers me. And then I hate that it really come to light on this project involving Venture. But it wasn't just this project. It was the last dredge job that they did offshore. It's the one over there, the one in Grand Chenier. And that's, once you got the same type of work but different people doing it, but you having the same problem, that's where we as leaders need to probably focus a little bit of time and talk with the right people to see what we could do. Because just talking with Mr. Sam, he's very knowledgeable on this water and stuff like that, and the drain off, and listen to some of the fishermen. When you listen to them, they bring a lot to the table, and you're like, if you factor just these couple thoughts in when you're designing a thing, you could possibly have it to limit it. You know, the limit the devastation or what happens when it, you know, the silt gets out of the water. But you raise a good point. I called all these organizations, and they didn't have much to tell me.
Yeah, it's frustrating whenever we say there is a problem and they're saying if there is a problem. It's obvious that there's a problem. Own up to your mistake, move forward, let's fix it. But we're not seeing a fix. We're seeing a lot of talk, but no real action. Like I said, if it would have been an oil spill, we would have already seen action in place. Right now, we're seeing nothing.
Correct, and I know.
Shouldn't they have a dredge there ready to start dredging, though?
Yes, I seen the little dredge is on site. I actually rode out there today. That's why I didn't go to the meeting this morning. They're doing a lot of work. They're rocking a road. They got equipment. The dredge is in the canal. I know people don't like them, because I don't like it neither when I talk with VG and they say if there's a problem. Unfortunately, they have bosses. They got to do that until their investigation's concluded. I think that's what they're going to give us. I'm sure if I was sitting in their shoes, I would have to give y'all that also, but I'm not going to speak directly for them.
Miss, you're a commercial fisherman, Miss Lisa?
My family is. I actually have a love-hate relationship with Global because of the effects that it has on my business. I manage a RV resort, so 90% of my people in my resort are Global workers, and they are traveling from Calcasieu Parish to here. So it really does affect.
You making money off of Venture Global?
In a way, yeah, absolutely, but also they're taking out of my pocket on the other end, because the commercial fishing side, Roger Kelly, Snoopy, as everybody knows him, is my significant other. I've been, you know, so you're taking money out of my pocket on one side, And not enough comes from the management side of an RV park for me anyway. That goes to corporate.
I hope out of anything today, I hope VG realizes, what the fishermen's concerns are, and they might need to tweak how they address and maybe interact with them, so to speak, in their concerns and how it is affecting them.
Quite shocking
Well,
to
you-
see
you want-
commercial fishermen's reactions, because I've been to these meetings where it's a screaming match, so.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd like to say something. Going forward, we're gonna find out what all the damage was. We're still in the process of looking, okay? It's hard to fix a problem when you don't know the extent of the problem. So as we go forward, I wanna make a promise to the people that if there's long-term effects, we're gonna be dealing with VG for a long term. Okay, we will be pursuing this. If these oyster reefs don't come back, well, we'll be talking about reseeding and other possibilities.
Yes.
So we're not gonna just say one-time fix and it's done. We're in this for the long haul.
Or it's not just the cleanup, it's the balance of the estuary, like we've been saying. What about our kids and grandkids?
Thank you.
And I think, let's give them a little time to get there.
Yeah.
Mr. Phillip? You know, put you as one of the guides to go show them around.
I would, but I got my place full. I've been a fisherman, been running shrimp boats over 50 years. July, August, always made half my money, most of the time, third of my money on the inside. And what I made this year? Ain't caught a shrimp. None, not one. Over 50 years in this channel. Few friends out there, we all butterfly, we fight for spots, we argue against each other. Now we together with each other, we argue with somebody else. Because no boats on anchor. How many boats you seen on anchor in the river this year? None. Zero. Only one went was Tartario. It kept going, there's nothing. There's nothing. Don't waste your time. I ain't paying for my ice. I need a basket of ice. Man, take all the ice you want because I don't need none. I got to go to Grand Chenier, Joe's the Harbor, Texas Line, to catch shrimp on the beach because there's nothing here. Nothing in the channel where I usually work. I changed my whole life for fishing. My wife got cancer, I got to take care of her and try to shrimp on top. And the west side of the channel, 6 years ago, they built this LNG plant. We just starting to catch a few shrimp on the west side again after 6 years. Now, if this is gonna be 6 years here, 6 years is probably gonna be too late for me. And some of the other fishermen. I got some older fishermen older than me, got my brother and them. 6 years, theirs gonna be over. I'm hoping mine ain't. We got other problems with Valencia Global. I live on the corner where Ron Johnson's daddy, he used to live, where y'all live in Kaplan, Aberville.
Yeah, Maurice.
He used to come to my uncle's house and my dad's house. His dad used to be a crab fisherman. He used to fish this lake when he was a kid. Me and his brother was the best friends in school. John Johnson, Philip Dyson, Paul Alexander, we was like three buddies. I ain't seen John in probably 50 years. I don't even know what he looks like now. But they lived in Cameron, they were fishing Cameron because they had more seafood here than anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm. Daddy used to come over to your daddy's house, Percy, all the time, yeah.
Yep. And now you can't make a living here. Zero on the estuaries. I live right here, 109 School Street, right there where the Baptist Church is. I done called on Facebook. I put it out to Mark. I showed him. Even sent a video to the sheriff, Chris Saville. I had a deputy come in my yard one morning. I'm out there videoing. I walked to the road, videoing trucks jailbreaking in front of my house at 3:30 in the morning. That ain't the bad part. You got a train horn. We wouldn't hear the train horn at 3:30 in the morning when you got to bed at 10:30. But there's no ordinance here. Y'all the only one can put the ordinance up. If there ain't no ordinance, there's something gonna happen. Because I can't keep waking up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because of this plant. This might be good for some people, but it damn sure ain't good for me.
Wait a minute, this is a vehicle doing this, Mr. Phillips?
Yeah, it's 18 wheelers.
Okay.
Car blowing the horn, bump, 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 like you ain't going fast enough, and they doing 30 mile an hour going through with the guard there. I got up the other morning, there was 2 cops in the vehicle, one across the road waving at traffic. Well, I walked out on my back porch, and I'm videoing, they got a light tower, 2 light towers shining in my house. It's brighter than this. So I go, and I call the sheriff department. We're gonna send a deputy over there. I'm watching the deputy. He's in his car. Well, I guess the dispatcher called him. I'm on my back porch for 15 minutes. Racking pipes, speeding, train horns, jake braking, ba 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 ba. In front of my freaking house, 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, deputy come there. 5 o'clock in the morning when he makes it there. I'm up, sitting in my chair. I seen him pull up, so I get up, go to the door. I go outside and talk to him. He said, no, that ain't happened. I said, it didn't happen. Well, no, these people don't do that. These people who go work this plant, they all quiet. I said, oh, they are?
Mr. Phillips, did you talk to Mr. Chris personally?
I talked to him on the phone. He texted me, then he called me. And he said, it's up to y'all to get the ordinance. And he would, if not, get the pictures of the trucks that Jake breaking, and he would file charges, and I had to sign the charges. But if y'all would make an ordinance where they couldn't Jake break, the cops could write them a ticket on the spot. That's what he told me.
I know, I personally, I text Mr. Sonny, cause it is his area, I text Mr. Sonny about the Jake breaking to maybe look into doing the ordinance. And also, Mr. Alex reached out to somebody with BG to get them lights off of your house. He ain't got responded to yet, and hopefully we could maybe get them lights off the gentleman's house.
Well, we got in that discussion this morning.
Okay.
I get up at 3:30. I go, here comes the 18-wheeler, 3:30 this morning. I got to bed at 10:30. Bow, 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 bow. I get up, go to the bathroom, get my phone, I video it. I go on the back porch, I video the second. I see the cop out there sitting in his truck. So I walked around, I videoed it, walked up to the cop. Throw the window down. David Abear. His daddy was a fisherman, good friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine. No problem between me and him. He's just doing his job. Well, I asked him, I said, hey dude, that light's in my window. Ready to see your privacy. I said, man, you can't see nothing in my house. You walk in here just like this, broad daylight. 3 o'clock in the morning. You need to cut that light tower down. Turn the lights or something. He said, my job is to turn this light tower on. Fletcher Goby told me at 3:30 in the morning. If not, they'll fire me. They'll put somebody else doing this. I said, when they hired the sheriff department to run the lights in town. And he told me, he said, well, if we don't do what they tell us to do, they will fire us and put somebody else in here. So they hired the Cameron Sheriff Department to run the lights. You can't argue with the Sheriff Department. What you gonna do?
We'll reach out to him, Mr. Phillips.
Okay.
Just reach out to him, see what we can do.
Well, I called the guy that owned the thing. I got the number off the machine. I called the guy that owned it this morning. He's an ex-cop from Lake Charles. The lady sells our shrimp. He used to work with his daddy, her grandpa. That was Wayne McKevin, Bridget McDaniel. The guy told us that he was used to be way up in the sheriff department. He retired. That was his light towers. And he told me, he said, I'm gonna call the Cameron Sheriff Department and see if we can move the light towers. But ain't nothing I can do because they won't let us move them. They want them there.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Ford is listening to you, and we'll also talk to Chris and see what we can do.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and we will pass an ordinance on the J breaks.
Yes.
But
I
that
appreciate
is
it.
today.
That's what he told me. He said it was up to y'all.
Nobody should be using Jake brakes by your house.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't know they were doing it in town. I didn't know.
I live out here by where the Blanchard Global is. I lived on that corner house.
Yep.
And every morning, 3:30, you up. You ain't going to bed at 6 o'clock. Soon I get up, I might as well just go to the boat, go shrimping, or do whatever. Good day's run. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Cody Kraft?
members of the police jury. My name's Cody Kraft. I'm one of the farmers behind the Oyster Ranch in Cameron Parish. I stand before you not only as a farmer, but as part of the team that has invested deeply in the parish and its future. Our farm is more than a business. It represents jobs, food, and the future of our coast. From the beginning, this project has been rooted in Cameron Parish. My partner Chris McCall was born and raised here. He grew up on these waters and the same fishing traditions that sustained families for generations. This farm was not built by outsiders. It was built by people who love Cameron Parish and want to see it thrive. That commitment has been real and substantial. Over the past year, we've invested over $1.5 million in infrastructure to build a sustainable oyster farm in Calcasieu Lake. As of August 1st, we seeded 5.5 million oysters, and we got another 2.5 million on the way. We had oysters from last year ready to harvest and go to the restaurants as of September 1st. Those oysters should be on dinner plates, bringing income to our parish and pride to our community, but instead they're unsellable. After the news outlets and this, that, and the other releasing all the information they release, the restaurants are not wanting to accept our oysters. The seed we planted is not surviving. It's smothered by the mud and the silt on our farm. And it isn't just about our farm. Calcasieu Lake belongs to the people of Cameron Parish. When a dredge spool and sludge suffocate the lake, it doesn't just kill our oysters, it disrupts the entire ecosystem. The shrimps, the crabs, the fish, it's all affected. That means fewer jobs, less income, and a direct hit to the economy and our way of life. Our investment has gone beyond the water as well. We participated in the Fur Festival, started a scholarship fund to support the local students, shucked at some legislative events, and we've been working with the parish to reopen the shrimp shop, to provide resources for the local fishermen. I don't know if y'all know, but Prestige done moved out of town last week. They shut the shop down. Tad ain't got no job. He ain't got nowhere to sell his shrimp. They're going to have to go to Hackberry. We've been working with Rockefeller to do the research and open an oyster hatchery here at the shrimp shop as well. Our commitment has been financial, cultural, and personal. And yet, since August 4th, despite the repeated efforts to get answers, we have been met with silence from L&G. On August 20th, Chris met with them. We have yet to hear anything. That's why I ask you, our elected officials, to stand with us and all of us in Cameron Parish. Stop this destruction until the real safeguards are in place. Require independent testing of the water and sediment so we know what's being released into the lake. Hold L&G accountable for the damages already done. Farmers and fishermen deserve compensation, and the parish deserves protection from further harm. Cameron Parish has survived hurricanes, storms, countless challenges because of the resilience of its people and the abundance of its waters. But if this continues, we'll not just lose oysters, we risk losing our entire way of life. We want to be partners in building a stronger, more resilient Cameron Parish, but that requires companies profiting from our coast to respect the people and the resources of the parish. We are not here to argue. We're here to protect our coast, our waters, and our community. But let me be clear, we do not receive answers and accountability. We will have no choice but to seek them through the courts. Our families, our workers, and our coast deserves better than silence.
Thank you, sir. All right, thanks everybody. Oh, come on, Mr. Joe.
I got one question. Look, we've been having trouble with Global Ventures, vehicles passing down. I live on 151 Dan Street. I done stopped them, and I done stopped deputies accident. It's a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit. They doing 40, 50 miles an hour down that road. If somebody walks out, or if a kid walks out, they gonna get killed. And I done asked them real nice to slow down, please. I even got in the middle of the road with a flashlight, trying to get them to slow down, and they won't. Now, either something gonna be done about it. I'm gonna do my daddy's old way.
Can you get
They
their
ain't gonna
license
like the income, and the outcome, and the sheriff department ain't gonna mess with it. Enough's enough now. You can only be pushed so far, and we done had enough of this.
Mr. Joe.
You talk to the sheriff?
Joe, hang on a second.
But I'm talking to the deputies, but I know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be all shoved underneath the table like everything else.
Mr. Joe, can you get their license plate?
Yeah, I'm going, cause there's three of them, it's Mexicans.
Get their license plate and I'll personally bring them to Global Venture and the Sheriff's Department.
And you ain't gonna believe what the worst ones are. The people that work for the sheriff's department and the DA's office. That's the worst ones.
We're gonna talk, we'll talk to Mr. Chris, hey, Mr. Joe, a nice cap.
He should still be in office.
All right, have y'all, reviewed that agenda?
Do we need to change the road, the verbiage on the roads for the Rutherford Beach,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, which road
We
is
go to
it,
that one, put it 10.
that goes to the west? We'll try
On
to change
10,
it to stop at the last camp,
That'd be Cameron Drive.
if we can. Cameron Drive, so it'll be 10C. We need to doctor up our table, what we need to do.
How can we do this, Katie? Do we need a survey or something, or some kind of?
Yeah, you're just granting him authority to advertise the abandonment. So when we advertise the abandonment, we'll fix the footage per your direction of making sure it stops at the last camp.
Okay.
And then again, just so the public's aware, they have
What if they build a
opportunity to
camp?
comment,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it will come back before you for a final vote.
Hey, what if they build a camp while we advertise it?
Well, they better get to building fast.
Now, we need some kind of,
30 days. So we'll make sure that we go out there. I'm sure Alex has a plan, and we'll bring the footage to you. Make sure that you're okay with it. We'll have maybe a Google Earth image to share with you guys before you adopt anything.
okay. And that was on, Bravo Martin? Is that the one they call West Avenue? I'm confused.
Cameron Drive and West Avenue on the west side.
Is that gonna affect our ability
So,
to abandon or not? The table?
No, sir, you're gonna give authority to advertise the abandonment, and he's going to present, he's gonna shorten the footage. I think he had it set at 1,150 something feet. We'll go out there and we'll adjust that.
Ronald, you need a motion to add on?
yeah, you want it, anything else? Can we add them together?
Yeah.
Okay, any other add-ons?
Mr. President, we have two add-ons actually from, Miss Julie with the taxes. We need motion granting authority to advertise notice of election to voters for Lower Cameron Hospital, Saturday, November 15th, 2025, and motion granting authority to advertise notice of election to voters for Gravity Drainage 16 to be held Saturday, November 15th, 2025.
And these need to be added to the agenda?
We need to do that. Yes.
Okay. And Sonny, you wanna add something on these breaks?
Add the Jake breaks on Main Street for sure, but, I wanna find out about Dan Street, the speed limit, what the speed limit is, and if it needs to be lowered or not.
So can we give authority to advertise and,
For the speed limit, yes. For the Jake break ordinance, I'll have to get back to you before the next meeting.
Yeah, we
Need to
have
check.
we have an ordinance.
Might be able to just add a section to it.
okay.
For different things.
They was wanting to add it to the vote agenda, that's why I
Yeah,
asked.
we wanna give Tom.
Authority to advertise
We wanna
it.
give Tom the authority to go ahead and work it up.
Yes.
for the noise, yeah.
For the Jake
Yeah.
break.
Did you look at that road,
And that is only for a certain section in Cameron, or are you gonna look at various communities throughout the parish?
Well, I haven't heard any other complaints, I don't know, but at least to the caution light coming in, I mean, I would think.
Not in here.
I haven't heard nothing at the red light.
Jake breaks, no Jake breaks,
Caution light to the ferry?
yeah.
Okay, that's a state highway, that's different.
Doesn't matter, still our township,
Yeah,
we're gonna be able to.
we can still, may have to notify the state or.
Okay,
We're gonna
so
check into it.
authority to advertise for Jake break ordinance
Alex, call you state.
for downtown Cameron, you could say.
Yeah, it's gonna be amend the noise ordinance, cause you have an existing
We
noise
do
ordinance.
have, yeah,
Yeah.
cause I pulled it up, yeah.
It'd be, added on, but it'd be a motion to amend that ordinance.
Okay, we out for questions now?
Okay.
Kara, I guess these are for you, Target Resources, what is that? Is that?
Which one you?
A,
Target Resources?
Yeah.
They're taking out some fill material, moving it off site and bringing in some new, material.
and why are they doing it?
I'm guessing it's from that site closure. They had some
Contaminated?
remediation issues, yeah, so they have to remediate. It's like they're taking out about 5 foot deep of material.
Have they been requested to do this by the EPA or whoever?
I'm pretty sure that's why they had to
Okay,
permit it,
okay.
yes.
Is this Barracuda or something?
Yeah, and while I'm up here, since we're on permits, I'll need to remove from the agenda item 6F,
And that's Cameron Land Ventures?
Cameron Land Ventures. Yeah, they would like to meet with you guys and myself as well on this project before, moving it to a vote. So they've asked for that to be removed at this time, and also item 6I. LeBake Camp Ops LLC, we received written correspondence from them August 28th, requesting removal. They have some still internal discussions that they have to work out, so that needs to be removed as well. Any other questions on the
Yeah.
permits?
C.
C. Transcontinental.
My question on that is they have a facility within a mile of there. Why would they have to do an off-site facility when they already have one? And two, it's setting in right in the middle of a community, RV park and numerous houses in that area, and it doesn't need to be there, it doesn't need to be there. I'm just curious why they're doing that.
Okay, I'll have to get back with them and let you know what their answers are.
Okay, so I'll move the table.
Or you can take them,
I'll move the
okay.
table that.
Okay, I have one for E.
The Oliver?
Yes. Have they,
This is a state concern permit, so they have, the state will actually issue the permit to do this work. I think the request from you last time was you had,
tabled it?
Yes.
I hadn't had a chance to talk to him since, he hadn't been down there, but I was just,
yeah, he'll have to go through the state. He's trying to reclaim land that he lost. Of course, they'll only let you backfill so much. You can't, intrude
gotta
navigation.
go through the Corps of Engineers.
Yeah, that as well, yes, sir. I did get with Alex on the, road surety bond issue, and,
That was one of the issues too.
yeah, I think he's just gonna inspect it as the project is ongoing to make sure the road stays clear of debris and mud.
Okay.
Okay. Item 15, it's change order 1 for ME 38. I just want to be clear for the record, it's actually 2 items on this change order. One is extend the contract to 100 days, and also it states here for the construction of additional breakwaters. So this project, the bids came in well below budget, so we're able to pretty much complete the permitted alignment for these additional breakwaters. That's about 8 total breakwaters. You'll have 5 additional at Little Florida and 3 additional, you'll have 3 to be constructed in front of Constone Beach. So this cost increase is $2,832,800.
Still within the grant.
Still within budget. Yep.
I can use ChatGPT.
Item 19, we have, Venture Global has provided a formal request that I think is in your folders as well. Katie submitted, okay. The Redman Pump Station, they're wanting us to continue operating that pump, which the parish is responsible to operate the Redman Pump Station. During the Redman, that pump station pumps out water from the Redman ditch, known as the Redman Lateral, which is responsible for the Gravity Drainage District number 3. And we've been coordinating with Gravity 3, the parish, and VG on this project. So they're requesting that the parish operate the pump station and their temporary bypass pumps they have to put for the CP2, because they have to reroute a portion of the Redman ditch. So during this time, they're asking the parish to pump out in intervals once they request it, and they will compensate the parish operators' time, fuel, and any mechanical issues that may arise. They will support that as well. So the CEA hasn't been drafted yet. They've asked us to draft it, and of course, I'll get with legal and all that if y'all are in support
And is
of the
this
CEA.
something, road and bridge, or who would handle this?
Yeah, right now, James Boudreau does it, is our main one. Monty Pierce may be able to be a second. I would want a couple, personnel, not just one, in case one's out or something on leave.
And
Talk
this
with
pump-
Alex, I guess you got with Alex on that, huh?
Yeah, we did.
I'll get a little more
Mhm.
information from it.
And this pump, we're gonna be using it just to keep water off of them, or are they gonna be requesting the pump out of the ordinary, if that makes sense?
Yes, out of the ordinary, right now. While they're constructing, because a portion of that Red Man lateral has to be rerouted along the north side of that flood wall, coming back into our,
It's gonna be flowing water from their job site? No?
no, not really,
Well,
no.
I've seen them.
Yeah.
Okay. No, just curious.
Yep. So that's 19. I think that's. Okay, I have one more under permits. The H is under the Cameron Parish Police Jury. We've been working with Venture since November of 2023. We've entered into an MOU as a general roadmap to consider doing some upgrades to the Red Man pump station. So what you see there, it's not sufficient enough to pump out the water that we need, especially during heavy rainstorm events, hurricanes. So we've been working with Venture Global and their engineers. And the submittal of the permit application, these upgrades, improvements are 3 36-inch pumps.
And that's on the state highway right here?
Yeah, off of Davis Road, which is the portion that is still Parish Road.
So, and that's right here, the main street of Cameron, is that gonna pump that water off? Or that's
It does flow from the north and from Ridgecrest and all that drainage lateral that comes back east, that comes back west. Yeah.
Is that gonna take care of like this morning, the tide's high right here? Cause I know for 2 years we've been asking the state to work with us to find where it's coming in, cause it's not coming over, it's coming through a
Right. I
pipe.
know the state has plans to elevate the portion of the road right here in front of our office.
I spoke with Alex this morning about that.
Yeah.
And, he's gonna have to get up to speed because, Shane was handling that before. So we'll get him up to speed but as far as I know, the state still hasn't identified where that water's coming from.
They can't identify.
Yeah, I'll bug Mr. Alex on it, cause they can elevate the road all day long, it's still gonna flood our drainage system.
But we do have our other pump systems that are permitted. The one that's gonna be going in front of Rex Street.
Yeah, cause
Yeah.
just the other day, I was sitting there getting fuel right there at the store in Cameron, and I was watching the
I
water
know.
come through the thing. So elevating the road ain't gonna solve the problem. But
That was the latest correspondence, and I think I
yes,
CC'd you, yeah.
I'm gonna beat Alex up a little bit on that, see if we can get some movement on
So
it.
yeah, but we can schedule another meeting with DOTD. I know they got new leadership too as well, so.
Yep,
Yeah,
sounds great.
we can do that. So anyway, I have one add-on from, we have to enter a, agreement with the landowner, a new agreement for the, upgrades to the Red Man pump station. Cause it's kind of, the drainage board has an existing right-of-way agreement now, but the improvements are a little bit outside of that lease line. So, I asked that we enter into a new right-of-way agreement with the landowner, the parish, along with Gravity Drainage District 3. And I've been in contact with the landowner. He's seen the permit application. I've received written correspondence from him. He has, he's in agreement with it, and he's ready to execute whenever we have the right-of-way agreement completed. Gravity 3, same thing. They're aware, so. I would like that to be an add-on.
Okay.
Got that, Mary? Okay. Any other questions?
I don't know if it's for you, but, we have a question for number 17. Are we ready, guys, for that?
This is just a letter of intent. This is what we need to start negotiating in good faith a CEA. We will bring it back to you, the terms of the CEA, that you're going to be involved in drafting the CEA, and you'll officially vote on it.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I just want to make sure we're not doing anything that's going to bind us in any way at this point in time.
No, sir, it does not. They just need McNeese needs something to know that we are willing to donate the land for the construction of this project before they go out and secure letters of intent of of donations from all these companies and start working out all the details within their agency. They need to know that we're willing to give them the land.
Well, there was
Use.
a question about,
Use.
yeah, there was a question about what part of the land.
At the north side of
Yeah.
80 Acre Lane is what they're looking at,
Oh, okay.
correct?
Correct, pretty much all the remaining property there.
Yeah, I didn't get to make that meeting. My only concern, and it might not be a concern, is if we ever had to move something over there, because it was my understanding the jury purchased that property to start moving stuff there. Is that correct, or are they just?
It's-
That's right. Okay, that'll work perfectly.
Well, and that's why you're considering it today. Are we gonna move forward with it, or are you not willing to give up the land in case something happens in the future?
Truth of the matter, if we were gonna move it there, I don't think that'd be the spot to move it. I mean, I think we flooded there a couple of times and had all kind of issues, so, I think arena might be the way to use that property in a good way.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
No question.
Johnny, good? We need to add.
27, Katie.
27, you guys are going to, we had our CBO is no longer with us. He has moved on to different job opportunities, and so we are going to be without a current CBO. So what we'd like to present to you guys is consideration of granting authority to myself to negotiate a contract with a third party to provide services in the interim until we can identify a permanent solution.
When are you gonna advertise for that position?
We can start advertising.
Yeah, I'd like to advertise if everybody's in agreement
Yes.
with that.
I'd like to do it yesterday if we could have.
Now,
Yeah,
are
we can start
we
advertising.
advertising for a firm or are we advertising for an individual?
Both.
Individual
Oh.
and a firm, I would say.
I'm just, wait a minute.
Both. Katie has to work with a contractor in case it doesn't work out with an individual, I guess.
The truth is, Calcasieu Parish is currently providing services and assistance to us, and since in the absence of our CBO, but it's not a permanent solution. They are really just doing us a favor, so we need to identify some third party to provide those services on an interim basis until we can actually either hire someone and bring them in. We might have to advertise for a little while. We really need to bring someone in who's already certified. That is not what we have done in the past. We typically advertise entry-level position and train them and got them certified to be a CBO. That's not going to work for us this time. We're going to need to advertise for someone who's already certified and brings experience. So those negotiations are going to take some time.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Number 23, that's just a renewal with the 4-H committee, livestock committee, or?
No, sir. So they are going to host the parish show at our Cameron Maintenance Barn. And like with any other nonprofit organizations that utilize parish property, we require them to obtain a certificate of liability, and they sign a CEA, like a hold harmless agreement.
So that's what it's for.
And it clearly is going to state what the parish is responsible for and what the livestock committee is responsible for. Everything is going to be provided at no cost to the livestock committee because they do qualify as a nonprofit organization, so they're going to be entitled to force account labor and equipment. But we do want them to be aware that they are going to be required to provide that certificate of liability before they use our property.
We had an email a while back with a request from them about the things that they would wish that we would provide.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna be able to do that, provide all that they ask, or?
Yes, sir. And I did give it to Alex, and he looked through it, and he's willing to provide all of that.
And also, just to let y'all guys know, Monty told me that we are a go on that on and over the wash rack. He'll probably be starting on it pretty soon. to let
I
you.
think the timeline might be, end of October, beginning of November.
Yep. They had, I think the president of the committee or whatever said they didn't need it, but most of the people on the board, they would like to see it, so.
We had agreed to go forward with it.
Right.
Yeah, I know we agreed, but I heard some feedback that they may, felt like they didn't require.
I think the president of the board kind of stated that, but they had a lot of people that's on the board or the committee, they said they would like to see it, so.
We're just gonna fix it. We're not gonna get into politics.
Any other? Any motion?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Ron, second, Mr. Sonny. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mr. President, how long of a break?
1 o'clock.
Reconvene at 1 o'clock?